people ask me all the time, why did we do this? And I'll give you the quick story behind it. We were doing a deal last October, like October 21, and I just, with all the stuff that we have going on in our business, I just didn't have time to do it, didn't enjoy it as much anymore. So I told Pat, I think I quit. And she goes, I think I quit too. And I go, what do you want to do? I go, let's just help more people. So that's why we do this. We do this to help you guys sell more homes. And that's what we do. It's Rockstar Real Estate Series. Also, please go on our Facebook page, and Rockstar Real Estate Series, and register on there because we're posting content on there all the time too. Okay? So today we have an awesome friend of mine. His credentials are ridiculous. Like he actually doesn't look like he's really smart, but he's really smart. But I do love the guy. So am I supposed to say that? Was that wrong? No. But he was the VP of Fathom Realty, co-owner of Realty Direct in Tampa, sold 100 plus homes every year without buying a lead. That's key, right? Who's spending money on leads? Nobody. Awesome. So now you'll learn how to do it and actually make money, not spend money. He's been a keynote speaker at Inman. He's managed multiple franchises, production coach, top producing agents. I mean, he's just amazing. Welcome, Russ Laggan.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Love the hairdo.
Thank you.
For lack of. Right? It's becoming very popular. The older I get, the more popular the hairdo gets. So, yeah. Good news is like you guys know what the law of conservation is. Matter is not created nor destroyed. Hair isn't created or destroyed either. So just because I don't have it on my head doesn't mean it's not there. It's just not on my head. So it's kind of brutal, right? All right, so let's establish some playing field here today. You guys ready for this? All right. I've got like 17 years in Florida with a primary residence, okay? So I'm damn near Floridian at this point. Although I do live in Michigan full-time now. My wife's family's all getting older, parents are getting older, and she's like, I want to be by my parents before they get too old. I'm like, your dad's 77. I think he passed out a while ago. We're just giving him a hard time, but he's very spry, and she's like, but they can still do stuff, so let's go hang out with them. So we live in Michigan full time, and I travel a ton anyway. So it's great to have my wife have her family around her. So, but we snuck down here for the month of February because I hate being cold, because I am what we call a pansy ass. Okay. Just want to make sure we're clear exactly where I stand on this. Okay. So with that said, there's two ways we can do this today. I've been in Florida long enough to know I have a sneaking suspicion I know which way you want to do this. I can do this the PC version and be concerned about my job and be concerned about my future. I can tell you what I really need to tell you today. Which way do you guys want it? You want like straight in? Okay. All right, so we have to have a second agreement that goes with that, okay? Second agreement is this. If I smash one of your toes at some point, I did it on purpose probably, and I am happy to apologize. So before you go on social media and say that guy's a complete jackass, come up to me and tell me I'm a complete jackass, and then I'll apologize. I've been married 28 years. I'm really good at apologizing, okay? Been practicing a ton, okay? So let me apologize first, and if you're still not satisfied, and then you want to go on social media and junk punch me, that's fine, okay? But don't cancel me till Friday, because I got stuff to do tomorrow. Kidding. All right, so let's have some fun with this, guys. Like, the real estate business got too freaking serious over the last 12 months. Can you agree? Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is let's talk about the mindset of a real estate agent. Okay, how many of you have been in business for less than 5 years? All right, okay, so, and that's good. Good. You're going to hear a lot of people like, oh, stupid real estate agents get into the real estate market, and all these bastards get in here and they're taking my paychecks. And Listen, let's be clear. Every one of those grousing assholes, they were new at one point too, and I was saying in 2006 and saying, stupid people getting into business. Okay, so every generation bitches about the next generation coming in, right? My wife was complaining about overdevelopment. I said, you realize we are in an overdevelopment from 1953. The people in the 40s are like, they're ruining the neighborhood, putting all these houses, and the cows are gone, right? And you guys are seeing a ton of that going on. So every generation bitches about the next generation coming in. And here's the thing. The good news is for most of you that are younger realtors, you're going to outlive most of those grumpy bastards anyway. So keep going. Don't worry about it. Okay? So stick with it. You'll be just fine. The problem is if you've been in the real estate business for less than 5 years, there's a lot of things that you've seen and you've been trained on that aren't accurate. to the way a normal real estate business works, okay? So your exposure to what you consider normal, you're sitting there going, well, this is normal, and like, not in the real world. In the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, yes, but not normal, right? And by the way, guys, are you guys in a normal market right now? No. Holy crap. No, you're not, right? Okay, so let's quantify some of that. Oh, look at this. Ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find. Give somebody $100 and you can get anything.
We'll see that at the bar later.
Mitch said he had $100 for you. You give me the microphone, I got the power, brother.
All you.
Love this. I'm not Italian, but I can't talk without a whiteboard. So I love having that available because I want to make sure you guys see some stuff too, right? I don't want to just tell you, I want to show you. And as part of the process that we talk about today is I don't want you to tell people stuff, I want you to show them, okay? I want you to be able to tell people stuff and then they go, well, let me show you. And then they go, bing, and the light bulb pops on, okay? So there's a lot of things you're gonna see today and you're gonna be like, all right, Russ, come on, really? Okay, so let me give you a short history. So I got into real estate business in 2005. I moved from Michigan down to Tampa, Florida. Brilliant move. Okay, and so we left Michigan because the real estate market there was getting crushed, the housing market was getting crushed. I was not a real estate agent. I had just sold a concrete countertop company, making countertops out of concrete. Before anybody even knew what that was, I built a company and I already sold it before anybody knew what it was, right? I was selling concrete countertops at $100 a square foot. That's 12 inches by 12 inches. So I'm like, $100, $200, $300, $400, $600, $700, $800, $900. And they're like, damn, that's expensive. I'm like, you want it? Pay it. And they did. Okay, so that was kind of cool. And then some knucklehead comes in, he's like, I can do concrete countertops for $35 a square foot. I'm like, you're an idiot, okay? So I sold my company to the idiot. Double idiot, okay? So with that said, I was like, okay, what do I do? Well, I was in kitchen bath remodeling. Prior to that, you're never gonna guess what I did prior to doing kitchen bath remod project management supervising. Do you know what I did? Teacher. Really? That's a good guess, okay. No, I had something way sexier than that. Okay, I was a hairstylist. Who said that?
Back here somewhere.
That was sexy.
Yes! The fact that you think it's possible for me to even conceive being able to do that. Thank you, you made my day. Thank you, I'm done. All right, so I was a licensed hairstylist. Yeah, go figure, right? Got super allergic to chemicals and then had to get out of the business, right? And then the old lady was washing her hair and she's like, I thought you were gay when I got married. To a girl. Okay, we got to qualify this, okay? And that was like one right after the next all week. And I'm going, yes, I'm a little more metro than most. Okay, fine, I'm okay with it. Okay, it's all right. Okay, so I go, okay, I know more about houses than most people because of the kitchen bath background, right, not the hairstyling, and then the kitchen countertop stuff. So I know a lot about houses. I should get into the real estate business. Brilliant, right? So I sold the company, tried to figure out what I'm doing, got into mortgage. Is mortgage guy still in here? He's up back. Okay, listen, I did like 6 months. It was like torture to me, right? I did 6 months in, I'm like, I'm done, I'm out. I will kill myself before I do this for more than a year, okay? Like, I don't, like, no, like these guys, like, watch what let them, right? Let them, they can have it, So I love them, and they love to sponsor stuff, which I'm good with too. So with that said, I did a little bit at a time there, and I'm like, well, I'm not getting to do the part of the house thing that I really enjoy, which is the being in the house part, right? I'm doing paperwork. Ugh. Okay, it's my least favorite thing. Okay, so with that said, I got my real estate license, and I get into the real estate business in Michigan in mid of 05, and I'm like, I'm the smartest guy I know, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna invite the #1 guy in the office out. Where are we going? Siri's like, I don't know where he's going, but this story's getting good. All right, so I get into the real estate business and I take the #1 guy in the office out as Real Estate One, right? Big franchise, conservative, normal, classic franchise in Michigan, like big stuff, right? And I get the #1 guy and I'm like, hey, I'm new here and I'd like to take you out to lunch and just pick your brain. Are you cool with that? And he's like, gotta eat. Okay, cool. So I go out to lunch with him and I said, if you were me, being brand new in the real estate business, what would you do? Damn good question, right?
Yeah.
And then I shut up. It's hard for salespeople to do. I shut up and I listened for the answer, and he looked at me and he goes, I'd get out. I'm like, son of a bitch, really? All right, this guy's a jerk, right? So I did the next most intelligent thing I could think of. I'm like, I'm gonna get the number 2 guy. That guy's gotta be way better. Let's go. Okay, you know there's some people that are a-holes and they get to the top? I thought that was him until I met the second guy, right? Who not only wasn't at the top, but he had a chip on his shoulder because he wasn't on the top. And I asked him this brilliant question. If you were me and you're brand new in the real estate business, what would you do? He said, I'd get out of the business and get out of the state. Well, that's worse than the first guy. I thought, like, the first guy, I was like, thanks, brother, like, team player, right? Like, so he's like, not only would I get out of the real estate business, I'd get out of the state. And I'm like, all right, so second best question, why? And then his explanation scared the crap out of me, okay? Ford Motor Company laid off 40,000 mid-level managers. Chrysler had laid off 30,000 mid-level managers. GM didn't want to be left out, so they laid off 40,000 because they got to keep up with Ford, right? So you got 110,000 mid-level managers, level positions out in the market all at the same time within a span of a month and a half or so. Okay, so these are people in the auto industry. At that point, they're probably between $80,000 and $120,000 a year income, right? And I don't know about you guys, but you don't just go out and patch together $110,000, $120,000 a year income by like, I'll just go get a couple extra shifts at McDonald's. We'll put this together. We'll be fine, right? So then they go, oh shit, and some of them did the math quick, and they're like, we better sell our $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 house because that's kind of that same demographic, right? So the 5, 6, 7s were like, throw them all on the market. All the houses went on the market. So what happens? All the 4s, 5s, and 6s are like, oh crap, well, I can't compete with that guy. And then they started competing for who could drop their price the fastest. And what happens? The 600s ended up in the 400s, and the 400s ended up in the 200s. And I'm sitting there going, I just bought a house as a fix and flipper because I'm brilliant. And I got that thing done, and I look at my wife, I'm like, we gotta get out of here now. Right? My wife's cousin comes into town, Rob Hilliker, super amazing guy. I love him to death. He's like a giant hairless version of Donkey Kong. He's just like, hey Russ, how you doing? He's just big, gregarious, funny dude, right? And he comes into town for a holiday party thing, and then they got a graduation party. One of the nieces was getting old enough to graduate, right? And we go to the and he looks at me and he's like, so what are you doing, right? And I didn't really know the guy that well. And I was like, hey, I just got into real estate. He goes, oh, you're real estate? I'm in real estate too. I'm like, yeah, great. He's like, well, let's go. I interviewed the first guy, and and I interviewed the second guy, and he's like, dude, like, you should move down to Tampa where I am. An idiot can make $100,000 a year in Tampa right now in the real estate business. And I'm like, I'm the biggest idiot I know. Like, I could nail this thing, right? So I moved down to Tampa, December of 05. Okay, December of 05. Which will go down December 2nd of 05, which will go down in history as the Pearl Harbor of my finances. So anybody was around in real estate business in 02, 3, 4, and they're like, woo, this is amazing. 5, this is crazy. Mortgage guys like, you don't have credit? I don't care. You get a house, you get a house, you get a house. Did you see that, Doc? Nope, neither did I. We didn't see shit. You get a house, you get a house, you get a house. Okay? And the most egregious ones were Florida, right? And Tampa, right? So people were leveraging their houses up in the north, and they're buying houses cash. They're like, I could buy a whole house for $300,000. Like, my garage is more than that in New York, right? So that's what kicked off the market. So then I got to learn how to build a real estate business, knowing 0 people with no real estate experience in a market getting destroyed. Yeah, cool, huh? Yeah. So by like December, I'm saying, like, oh, this is cool. Or January, and everybody's like, something's wrong. February of 06, like, do you smell that? It smells like fear. What's going on? So December and January, February, March, April, 06, this market gets destroyed. Don't worry, it gets worse. 07, right? January of 08 will go down in infamy. Right? Medieval times, weeping and gnashing of teeth. In Tampa, we had 13,000 real estate agents, just in the Greater Tampa Association of Realtors, 13,000 real estate agents. There were 800 total closings for the whole month of January. Less than 1 in 12 agents made $1, right? So by mid-2007, I get this award at the office, right? Because I was put my head down. I got this unfair advantage. You know what my unfair advantage was? Besides the fact that I could potentially be a stripper, is that If I don't make money, I don't get to eat. And that's an unfair advantage, right? Because there are things a starving dude will do that you won't do when you're well fed, right? Truth? Okay. Crying is one of them. Okay. Want to see a grown man cry? Make him broke and don't show him the way out, okay? And do that for a while. And then you still go into the office and the broker in the office says to you, I was like, what do I do, Rob? And he's like, well, what you got to do, Russ, is you got to do your scripts first thing in the morning. Get your scripts, right? And you got to go door knocking. And I'm like, dude, I'm from Detroit. It's like, knock, knock, who's there? 9mm. Never mind, okay? So like, you don't knock on people's doors unless you want to get shot, okay? And then he's like, well, then start calling FSBO. So I'm like, ugh. Okay. Now listen, guys, this is where some of you might want to pick your feet up. I'm not saying don't do that, but what I will tell you is that the majority of the people that I ask when I ask this question, would you like to call a bunch of for sale by owners every day? And the answer is no. Okay. Would you like to call a bunch of expireds? Oh, here's the deal. Not only did they not sell, and they don't love real estate agents, and then you're going to call them and tell them how amazing you are compared to the other knucklehead that just did a knucklehead job on the knuckleheadery. Did I do it? Yes. Was I good at it? Damn right I was, right? Did I love it? Nope. Okay, so my mantra is happy, healthy, wealthy, wise. If I'm not happy doing it, I'm not going to do it for very long, okay? I don't care how starving you are. So I started having to figure out a way to do my own thing. So by July of 2007, I got this lovely little plaque, at the office. Rob calls me up. He's like, Russ, you're the salesperson of the month for July. And he gives me this little certificate, and I hold this. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I'm the top sales guy in the office. So I bring this certificate home and I show it to my wife and I'm like, check this out. We should put this on the fridge, right? And she looks at me and she goes, you're the number one guy in the office? What the hell is everybody else doing? Because we're freaking broke. I paraphrase, and my wife will say that conversation never happened, but when you're stuck and you're screwed and you don't know how to get out, you start to hear all kinds of things, right? Okay, so let's be really, really clear for you guys. We are not in those days. Good? Yeah. We are not in those days for a bunch of different reasons. We are not in those days. What happened then is not going to happen again. Are we seeing a shift? Yes. So are we seeing a shift in the market? Yes. Are things a little bit different? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, so here's the fun part. Anybody around here surf? Anybody know a surfer, right? Surfer jumps up on the surfboard and he locks his legs like this and he just goes, I'm not moving a bit. I'm on the wave, damn it. No, man, that guy's moving his feet, he's moving his body, he's moving left and right. The wave's changing, his foot position's changing, his balance is changing, his arm position's changing. He's got to constantly make adjustments. So being in the real estate business is no different than surfing. Every single deal you do is different. That's okay. This is a way, no. This wave isn't just like the last. I love that last one. That last wave was amazing. I will only surf waves that are just like that. And if I don't get one, I'm just going to sit here on my freaking board until a manatee licks my feet. By the way, that's not as sexy as it sounds. It scared the crap out of me the first time that happened, okay? So with that said, do you have to constantly make adjustments? Yes. Do you have to constantly make adjustments? Yes. Do you have constantly different waves coming at you? Yes. Every day is different. Every temperature is different. There's more seaweed today. There's less seaweed tomorrow. I go out there, next thing you know, a dolphin jumps up and knocks you off the surfboard. Have you guys seen that video? Oh, Google it. Surfer gets knocked off by a dolphin. It's the funniest thing in the world. Just watch it like 18 times. Guy's like, oh, look at me, I'm on a wave, and poof, gets belted by a dolphin. And he's like, I got knocked off a surfboard by a dolphin's butt. Right? Okay? But the moral of the story is you got to be constantly moving. You got to be constantly adjusting. And this market is no different than that, right? Real estate is no different than that. You've got to be constantly adjusting. You got to be making adjustments, okay? So what are some of the adjustments we need to make? Well, let's be clear. Market shifts. What do we do when a market shifts? Do we make things more complicated? Oh, yes, you do. Are you supposed to make things more complicated? No, right? So anytime something is going bad, anybody watches sports, you got a sports figure in there, and they're not doing well for some reason. They're kind of off their game. They're missing the ball. They're just off. What do? They go, stop, go back to fundamentals, right? We're going to go back to fundamentals, right? Go back to fundamentals, right? What happens? Like, man, every time I swing the stupid club, that ball goes that way, right? Like they might as well just throw the whole 12 pack of balls into the water, save me a bunch of frustration. Okay? I only buy golf balls that love to swim. Apparently. It's like water balls. Yeah, sure, I need ones that float, and then I'd get them back probably, right? Okay, so with that said, we got to go back to the fundamentals. Like, there's something mechanically wrong. Okay, great. Let's go back to simple. Okay, where are my feet? Right? So this is what we got to start doing with real estate. So I've got 3 recipes I'm going to talk to you guys today about. And the cool part is, I noticed when Mitch asked how many of you guys are spending money on your business every month, buying leads and stuff, nobody put their hand up. Okay, so here's 3 recipes you don't have to spend money on. Okay? And these are 3 recipes that are real basic stuff, and you're going to understand by the time I'm done with this conversation why you should be doing this stuff. Okay? Here's the fun part. You are not going to hear me tell you to call expired. You're not going to hear me tell you to call withdrawals. None of that, right? Okay? So what I want to do is I want to set up a system, and I want to set up a lifestyle that, number one, I enjoy. And when I say to you, you got to do more business, you want to do more business, and you're like, yeah, Russ, I want to do that. I'm like, cool, let's go do some more stuff that's fun. You're like, okay. Right? Back to stripping. It's going to keep going back there the whole day, right? Okay, so with that said, we got 3 different recipes, but we got to make sure, number one, that you understand that this market is not like the past market. So all those people that are pumping fear out in the market, and you're hearing this market shifting, market shifting, market shifting, you got to get really clear on what's going on in the market. And you need to know what those numbers are so you know what the facts are, okay? There's nothing worse than sitting in front of a seller, and the seller's like, well, I know the market's shifting. Okay, congratulations. So let me show you exactly what our market is doing so that you understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing in this market, right? So if you're like, all right, I'm going to plant my feet here, and you're like, whoa, no, hang on a second, let's look at the wave first. And then we're going to decide which way we're pointing. And then we're going to decide where we're going to jump on. Then we're going to decide where we're going to put our feet. And then we're going to decide what the movements are that we're going to be able to stay on that thing, okay? So we've got to know what the facts are. Here's the one thing I know for fact across this nation. I've asked this question a lot. I ask people if they could tell me what's going on in the market, and routinely I get answers that are just bullshit, okay? Like, the number one most important thing you can do, guys, is know what's going on in the market. The number one, not second, third, fourth, fifth, number one most important thing that you need to know as a real estate agent is what's going on in the market. Why? What's that?
Clients ask me that all the time.
Yeah, right? So let me ask you guys, okay? I go out and about, I'm doing my thing, sit down, having a drink, right? It happens once in a while, every day. And then the dude sits down next to me, and I look at him, he looks at me, he goes, wow, you're dressed nice. I say, thank you very much. I have this thing for vests and bald heads. And then he goes, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm in real estate. And the next thing out of his mouth is? Yes. Does that happen to you guys too? Yeah. So why do we suck at answering that question? Right? Oops, sorry. Pick your feet up. Couple. Right? So here's the worst part of it. The worst part of it is that when we get into this, and this is where I'm going to smash a couple more things, but you understand why in a second, okay? So it's not out of unkindness. It's because I want you guys to freaking win. And I want you to win all the time, right? And I want you to stop chasing shit. I want you to get stuff to come to you. And the only way you can do that is you got to stop changing what you're doing. If you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always gotten, right? Yeah. Yeah. So we got to change something, right? Anybody here, business is easy right now? No? Okay. So you guys ready to change something? Yeah. Good. So let's change with recipe number 1. So shouldn't we get really great at doing a real estate market update? Okay. 1, market update. Good. Real estate market update. Here's the reason why. I know if I go out and about and I live like a normal human and I'm reasonably nice to people and I put myself in positions of doing things that are fun, I'm out and about and eventually somebody's going to say, hey, so what do you do for a living? And you say, I'm a realtor. Right? And then what did you guys get taught? Did you guys get taught about you got to have an elevator pitch, right? Yeah, you guys got taught that? Yeah, throw that shit out. Hey, Mitch, I heard you say a word earlier that was worse than that, so I'm still good. Okay. Just want to make sure. Throw it out, and here's the reason why. Think about how humans work, guys. Let's get into human nature. So human nature is really interesting. So you do something, and then the human reacts, right? And you do something else, and the human reacts. And you do something, and you do it over and over and over and over and over, and then they just assume every single realtor is just like every other realtor, because every realtor, every time I ask them, how's the market, they do what? They go into an elevator pitch. Because that's what they've been taught, right? So Rob's like, Russ, you gotta do an elevator pitch, you gotta get really good. Okay, great. So what was my elevator pitch? Oh, one variation itineration, I've had about 40 of them, right? My job as a real estate agent is help listing people sell their house for top dollars and help buyers find the house of their dreams and get a good deal. So let me ask you this. If somebody asks you a question and then you put on your salesman hat, right? Don't forget, always be closing. Coffee's for closers, right? You guys have heard that, right? This is the stuff that we get programmed into our head and then we just become that, right? So here's the thing. We do these elevator pitches and somebody asks you how's the market, you go into sales pitch mode and what do? Do they go, oh, tell me more? Has that ever happened to you guys? No? Have they ever said, whoa, let me give you my personal info? Ever? No? Okay, so if I do something a bunch of times, you gotta go networking. Oh, even better, I'm gonna go to BNI. Anybody in a BNI group? Here, let's force partner you with somebody that probably sucks so bad that they can't build a business, and that's why they're here. And we'll put you here with them, and then you're both going to suck together. And then you're going to force each other to do business with somebody you don't want to do business with, and you're going to realize, you know what, I'd rather give it to my cousin anyway. And then the real estate agent's not doing business because the previous mortgage person's still there doing business with everybody. They're not in the group, but they're still getting everybody's business. You seen this stuff happen? Okay, so how do we stop the nonsense, okay? So this is just like that, getting the elevator pitch, right? So let's stop the elevator pitch thing. Think of it like this. Does anybody have a dog? That's like an inside dog, yeah? Okay, what happens if you let said dog out without a leash? Oh boy, right? Yeah, so I have 2 greyhounds. My wife and I have adopted and took care of a bunch of greyhounds over the years. And we've got 2 currently. And I know one thing for a fact is if both of them, if they go out the door and they see anything at all that has fur, they're going for it, right? Now, here's the problem. Your little dog, you're like, my buddy Mike says, Lucy's the fastest dog I've ever seen. I'm like, dude, this is a greyhound. Like, that's a greyhound. You have a boxer. And he's like, yeah, but Lucy's super fast. I'm like, that's a greyhound. And he's like, you ever seen a boxer bus? No, they make buses, greyhounds, right? Duh. All right, so he's like, I'm like, dude, listen, put your money where your mouth is, right? Since I'm not gonna be a stripper, let's bet on dogs. So like we rescued our dog from racing, right? And I'm like, a side gig, here we go, right? I will race this dog against your Yorkie, I don't care. Like, you can launch your Yorkie with a freaking slingshot and my dog's still gonna catch it before it lands on the ground on the other end, okay? So we take the 2 dogs out, we get them out in what I would consider a reasonably safe spot for my dog to run, which is a fully enclosed football stadium with all the gates, checked them all, right? And we go out there and my buddy Mike's like, Lucy likes the tennis ball. And you could take this tennis ball and that stupid boxer, she is amazing, brilliant, super lovable dog. You could throw a tennis ball for 48 hours straight and that dog will bring it back to you every freaking time for 48 hours straight, right? That's what boxers are great at, right? My dog's like, hey, $100, go beat the boxer. And the dog's like, fine, I'll get up, okay? But you don't realize this, greyhounds are couch potatoes. Okay, you call them 45-mile-an-hour couch potato. So my buddy Mike's like, well, I got this tennis ball launcher thing, and you guys ever seen one of those? You can chuck a tennis ball a mile, okay? So he gets out there, and he's like, all right, so here's the deal. You hold the one dog, I'll hold the other dog, and like I'll throw I'll get that thing chucked, right? And as soon as I let go of that, the dogs are want to go, right? I said, I'll give you a 3-second lead. He's like, I'm like, want 4? I mean, like, what are we negotiating here? He's like, you don't need to give her a lead. I'm like, no, I'm gonna give you a 3-second lead. Because your dog's gonna be going after the ball and my dog's gonna run your dog down, okay? So my dog's not gonna chase a ball, but it will chase a boxer. Remember what I said? You go outside, it sees fur, go, okay? So he chucks this ball and he, these stupid things, you whip a ball like 100 yards, right? This ball's like this. And my dog is just like, his dog starts twitching, right? He's like, is it my tennis ball? Okay, he lets go of the boxer and the boxer's like, phew. And I'm like, all right, you ready? And he's like, come on, man. I'm like, all right, go. And she's like, "Poof!" My buddy Mike, and I quote, said, "Holy shit!" Okay, so the last thing you want to do when a greyhound gets out is chase it. You guys are like, I don't know where this is going, okay? Mitch said I had 5 hours. I figured I'd tell you guys some stories, okay? We can talk about real estate at any point here? Okay, so you let the dog go. So last thing you want to do is chase it, right? So your dog goes out, your dog gets out, and it's not supposed to be out, and what do? You chase it, right? And then what does the dog do? The dog runs, oh, you want to go? Let's go, right? So he goes jockeying back and forth, and you think you got it in the corner, and the dog's like, ha, 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 whoa. It jukes you to the left, and you're like, oh, so close, right? So then you realize at some point you got to stop chasing the stupid dog, and you got to find some way to get the dog to come back to you, okay? The good news is with greyhounds, most of them are trained with a squawker duck call, right? So you just grab that duck call. Dog's airborne, completely stiff, like. I don't know how you hover like that, but that's a pretty cool trick. Must teach them young, okay? Dog just stops immediately, right? Because they trained it as a little puppy. You make that go, right? If you go and try to chase that dog, the first time the greyhound went out, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. I start running, I'm like, this is stupid, I gotta get my bike. And I'm like, this is really stupid, I gotta get my car. And I'm like, shit, this is stupid. Speed limit neighborhood's 25, I'm doing 45, and dog's running next to me going, finally you caught up, right? By the way, my dog got a speeding ticket for 20 over. Stupid dog. It's a $400 ticket. Kidding. So you got to start learning how to get the dog to come back to you, right? So my wife would go outside and she could just take the tin bowl that she got and just take dog food and just kind of throw it up in the air, and the dog food into the bowl, and the dog's like, ooh, that's my food. That dog can be a half mile away. You throw food in a bowl, that dog is there immediately, right? So you got to find those things. So here's the thing. So when somebody says, how's the market? We start chasing them. What do? They run, right? Have you guys seen this? And then you try, oh, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try to chase it on a bike. Ooh, you know, we're both going fast. Oh, forget the bike. Now I'm going to rob somebody, take their car. Let's go chase the dog, right? Like, guys, it's like you're giving you better techniques of doing the same thing, which is just making the thing run more, okay? So we got to start finding ways to get people to come to you, okay? So let's shift this conversation right now, right? Market update. So let me ask you guys this. If somebody says, how's the market? And you said this instead, you know, people ask me that question all the time. I do a market update every month that tells people what's going on in the market. Do you want me to send it to you? What? Who said that? That's a good one, right? It would be great if it worked. She's like, oh man, really? I'm taking you on an emotional roller coaster here. You good? She's like, damn it, I like that one. Well, you liked the one where they told you to do an elevator pitch too, right? How'd that work? This is the same thing, don't do it. Okay, so not only have you shifted the power, you've shifted the conversation, you've gone from being a sales nerd that is hated to actually being a resource, right? Why are they asking you the question? Do they really care? Nope. Okay, I walk into the store, lovely store clerk is standing right there, and I walk in, he's like, hey there, how you doing? How you doing? Great. Can I help you find anything? No. Nope. Just looking. This is the nope, just looking of real estate. So you guys are like, oh, now I see it. Now the problem is you can't unsee it, right? It's like her picturing me with my clothes off. She started it. Mitch, you cannot tell anybody this is what I do on stage, okay? He's like, I'm calling Glenn Sanford. Dave Kennard's going to be on my phone right now. Stop it, Russ. Okay, so here's the thing. You can't unsee that, okay? So let me repeat it. The part about the real estate. She's still over here giggling. She's like, I got a $100 bill in here somewhere. Guys, listen, 3 drinks later. Mitch is like, you want to go have drinks with us? No, closed down. Tequila. Woo-hoo. Okay, so you got to shift the conversation. So now you see it, you can't unsee it. So let's go backwards. Let me say that again, okay? So I want you guys to hear it a bunch of times, okay? Somebody says, how's the market? My response back is, What? Why are you asking? No. She's like, why are you asking a question? Are you an idiot? You don't know what's going on in the market? So here we go, right? So somebody asks you, how's the market? You know what? People ask me that question all the time. I do a real estate market every month that tells people what's going on in the market. Would you like me to send it to you? And they go, yeah. Great. Give me your info. Oh. And what do they say?
Yeah, or give me your card.
No, they say, okay. The human nature, okay? So everybody in here a human being? I'm waiting for somebody, like, actually I'm an alien, I've been here for 45 years and they're going to veil us next week. They just shot down 4 of my buddies. So human nature, right? Big guy comes up to the window, and above the window it says, hamburgers, right? And he looks at the window, and the person behind goes, can I help you, sir? And he's like, I'd like a hamburger. Oh, good, because we're a hamburger place. And then he goes back, here's a hamburger. And the guy on the other side says, what? Thank you. Oh, okay, thanks, right? The guy just asked you for a hamburger, you give him a hamburger, he's probably going to say yes. Have you ever had, have you guys ever had this moment where you're like, why am I doing business with this person? Have you ever I've got red flags that have been throwing up all over the place. I should never be doing business with this person. Like the first time I thought, second time I thought, whoa, third time I thought, oh God, fourth time I thought, damn, I'm broke. I'm gonna have to put up with this crap. Okay, so when the fat guy comes up to the window, asks you for a hamburger, you offer him a hamburger and he goes, nah. What do? Run. Right? So guys, think about it like this. Like you want the right people in your world, right? Should you be attracting the right people to you? Yes. Right? So if somebody asks you for a hamburger and you say, here's a hamburger, and they're like, nah. Right? Giant red flag. Run. Stop. Right? Ladies, you're not going to be able to fix him. Okay? Don't try, oh, I got a project. I can fix the guy. He's just confused. No, he's a drunk. There's a difference. Okay? So don't try to fix him, right? Run from him, okay? Because I want people that want to be with me, right? I want to attract my tribe. I want to attract my people, okay? So when I put something up and somebody comes to my thing and is like, yeah, I want that, those are my people, right? And it's my job to cultivate that relationship so they become more my people. Now I'm the only flavor they want. Now I got them forever, right? And they're going to buy a house at some point, probably, maybe. Worst case, they die. Welcome to Florida, God's waiting room. Good news is you got a constant flow of business. You just look at the average age and be like, that neighborhood's going to turn fast. Okay? I'm kidding, but serious. So think it through, guys, right? So somebody says hamburger, and you go, hamburger, and you're like, good, okay? Somebody says, how's the market? I've got a market update. You want it? And they're like, yeah, great, give me your info. And then sometimes they'll say, well, why don't you give me your business card? I said, well, because I stopped giving out business cards in 1990. Because here's the thing, this is my business card right now. And by the way, I'm horrible at making sure the contacts are all good. So let's just get all the info in here. By the way, can you just type your name in here too, if you want, right? Make it easy. Right? And then they hand it back to you and you're like, oh, good. So what? Let me make sure I got your address. Get your full address, right? Some people are like, well, Russ, but I've got this little digital card, right? And I got this little scan this thing and it goes right over to them, right? And do they ever call you? Do you ever have the ability to find them later? Yeah. Nope. Right? So I want their info. So as a real estate agent, should I be getting people's info or giving out my info? And I got a guy who says, well, you know, I give out 500 cards every 6 months. Congratulations. How many calls do you get from that? He's like, well, you know, it's going to pay off long term. Well, I got this one person, I was at their thing, and they got my card from like 20 years ago. I'm like, congratulations, you made $6 freaking grand in 20 years. Woo! Better retire. Hope you only have 1 month to live. Okay, so let's be real, guys, right? I'm not saying business cards don't work, but I'm saying business cards are not an intentional plan where I'm putting myself in a position where people are going to say, hey, what do you do? And I go, hey, I'm a real estate agent. They go, how's the market? I go, by the way, okay, real estate market update. So here's the thing. Sometimes people, while they're doing things, say, hey, by the way, you know, if you had an investment that was worth $400,000, $500,000, $700,000, you'd check the price of it once in a while, wouldn't you? House is the same thing. That's why I do this. And they go, ooh. So you're not gonna look at this thing every month, but every 6 or 7 months or so, just take a look at it. Just make sure you know where things are at. You will see me saying, danger, 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 sky is falling if the market is shifting. If you don't see me saying that, I'm actually gonna give you facts. I'm gonna give you actual numbers on what's going on in your market so you know what the facts are so you can make good decisions, right? Just like a financial advisor. Now, do they think I'm a real estate agent? I just equated myself with a financial advisor. Are real estate agents highly respected? No. So like you saw Brian Buffini, he told the same joke every single time I saw him. So I was driving through Florida. I got pulled over for speeding and the police officer rolls the window down and he says, "Sir, can I have your real estate license, please?" What do you mean? Don't you mean my driver's license? He goes, "Son, not everybody has a driver's license." And the first time I heard that joke, I was like, damn, that's a good one. Second time I heard that, I was like, damn, that's still a good one. Third time I heard it, I'm like, oh, it's still good. I've told it now like 80 times, and it's still pretty good. It's a great joke, right? All right, so the moral of the story is real estate agents don't typically have a great reputation is because they're just expecting us to do the normal thing. They're expecting to say, how's the market? And then you go, you just start chasing, right? They're like, no! Duck into the nearest strip club and hide. Right? So start shifting what you're doing. If you start shifting what you're doing, you're going to shift what you're getting, right? Is this a shift you guys can all do? Recipe number 1, have a good real estate market update, okay? I have a video that I did on how and why to do a good real estate market update. Would you guys like to see that? Yeah. Roll the tape. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'll have Mitch send it to you later. Okay? That was good, right? Okay, I'll have Mitch send that to you later, and tomorrow probably. I'll send you a package with some stuff. Okay, so that'll be 1, right? And then I've got an example of how I do one, a long version of one. Okay, so that you guys will be able to say, okay, I should start doing that, right? So real estate market update. So is that important? You guys agree that's important? Everybody that thinks that's important, put your hand up. I'm going to make you put your hand. Okay, good. So you better do it. I'm going to show you why, okay? Let me show you a couple different reasons why, okay? Number 1, is real estate getting more global or more hyper-local? Global. Yeah, except for the people buying are buying hyper-local, right? So we're having access to all the information. People from all over the globe can get the information, but in reality, people are getting really hyper-local, right? So when you're thinking real estate market, you want to make sure that you're doing a market update. Your first one is going to be super hyper-local, okay? You want to be the real estate expert for that, okay? I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do that will make you look like the real estate expert for that spot. Okay, so super hyper local, okay? The second one I'm going to want you to do is I'm going to want you to do an area real estate market update, and you guys go, huh, wonder why? Well, let me tell you. Do people usually move within the neighborhood? Not really, right? They move within the area? Yeah. So if they go, well, Russ, you're the Plymouth specialist, but I want to move to Westland. Well, by the way, I work Westland also. Okay? So I'm a specialist in this pocket, but I can also do stuff there too. But I want to make sure I'm a hyper-local. So I could say this area within 5, 6, 7 miles of, boom, I'm going to be the local specialist. I'm going to do a lot of stuff on that area. And then I'm going to also do a market update area with the area. So for me, I could do like southeastern Michigan, which is pretty much all the areas in southeastern Michigan. We go all the way down to Monroe, go all the way up into Sterling Heights, north of Michigan. You guys have listened to Journey song? Yeah. Born and bred in South Detroit. There's no such thing. There's no South Detroit. It's a river. So they're born in a river, just so you know. It's a completely different song, right? It was born on the bayou. They're born on the river. We could have Mitch sing us a song, right? Okay, but I'm going to do area, and the reason I'm going to do area is because people from Sterling Heights moved to Plymouth, and people from Plymouth moved to Sterling Heights, and people in Plymouth moved to Royal Oak, and people in Royal Oak moved to Plymouth, and then people in Plymouth moved to Birmingham, people in Birmingham moved to West Bloomfield, and then people in West Bloomfield move out to Brighton, and then they move out to Milford because they're sick of all the stupid people, and then they get like a piece of land, and then they grow a beard, and they join the Michigan militia. And that's how that happens. Okay? But it's important that you have the area because I don't want them to think I'm just stuck in this one little pocket and I'm just pigeonholing myself. I'm like, here's what I do the most of, but I can do an area one, and I can do specialties in other areas, and I'll show you a couple things you can do that help with that, okay? So I'm gonna do hyper-local first, my Plymouth, Canton, Northville, Novi area, and then, by the way, here's Southeast Michigan. So if you're in Southeast Michigan, we can take care of you. I specialize here, but I can do business anywhere, right? So you wanna have both of those, right? Here's the reason why. I'm gonna do a local real estate market update, and how am I gonna do the market update? You guys know? How do I do the update? How do we get it in their hands? How do we get it in front of them? Do what?
Text them a video.
Video. Did somebody say video? How many of you guys are doing video weekly? Take a breath. This statistic's going to hurt. When surveyed, the public was asked, what would you like to see most? 90% of people said what? Yeah, now it's uncomfortable. So guys, listen, let's be really clear. I didn't like doing video when I started doing video. I'm not even super tech savvy. Well, let me show you my PowerPoint presentation. It's not that I don't have a PowerPoint presentation because I can't have somebody else make one for me. It's because I can't do it myself. And I don't want to, okay? But you got to start doing video, right? Anybody here think they shouldn't do video? Anybody here think their face is too fat to do video? Oh, hold on, I'm going to insult everybody before we're done. I'm going to go South Park rules. He's like, don't worry, guys. If you're offended, don't worry, we'll get to you. We don't hate you, we hate everybody. Anybody don't like the size of themselves in a video? Face, butt, feet? Like my 1 foot is just super chunky and I just can't. Okay. Does anybody like the sound of their voice recorded? No. You do?
I hate it.
Oh, you don't? Okay. She's like, yeah! I'm like, yeah, what? Okay, so let's be really clear, guys. This is honest, okay? This is honest. The first time I did video, I was like, wow, you look like a turtle. Hang on, gets worse. Doesn't get better, gets worse. Oh yeah, I didn't know I sounded like a freaking Muppet. So I look like a turtle and I sound like a Muppet. This is a great recipe, okay? Let's be clear, a severely overdressed turtle. Okay? You gotta get over it, guys. You just gotta get over it. You gotta get over it. You gotta get over it. Just get over it. Let it go. Let it go. Start singing it with me, right? Let it go. You gotta do it, okay? So I'm gonna do a segment at the end. I'm gonna show you guys a couple tricks on how to do video better. Will that be good?
Yeah.
Okay? I'll show you how to do that. There's a bunch of funny little silly tricks that make you look less turtley and less Muppety sounding, okay? No, seriously, you're still gonna look like a turtle and sound like a Muppet, but at least you're gonna be good. Ninjas got a turtle show themselves, right? Okay, so they did pretty good. Okay, so local and area, but you got to do it on video. Okay, and the reason we're going to do video is we're going to make sure that people see us. Okay, it's super important that super important that you do video. And here's the reason we do video. A lot of people are like, well, I post the thing with the market stats all the time, Russ. I'm like, yeah, but that's not you, right? Do you want them to see you as an expert? Do you want them to think you're an expert? Do you want them to pay you like you're an expert? Well, you better freaking start sounding like one. And the easiest way to sound like an expert is for people to see your pie hole saying experty things. Okay? So you got to get experty things to pop out of your pie hole. And then people are going to be like, oh, that guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Don't tell them you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Just let it roll, right? What they think about you is none of your business. Okay, so you're going to do video, and here's the reason why. I'm going to do video, but I'm going to do hyper-local. I'm going to post it 2 times. And people will say to me, Russ, well, what kind of social media should I post this on? I don't know, whichever one you use. Listen, if you're still using MySpace, probably should update. But like Facebook forward, run with it. Okay, people are like, but Russ, you got to do TikTok. I'm like, like I'm from the areas like tick tock, don't stop, to the, right? That's like 80s hip hop, right? I'm 80s hip hop dude. So like, but video, you got to do the video and you got to get it out there and you got to get it on your social media, and people say, which one? Whichever one you use all the time. Well, should I do a business page? I don't know. Do you want to have people come to you or come to this pretend business that you're doing? I want people to come to me, right? I want people to come to me and say, Russ, you're my guy, right? But there's only way they're going to do that is, number one, if they see you. Number two, if they know you're out there. Number three, if they're like, that guy says some experty stuff. I could trust that guy to give me good expert advice, right? But they got to see you saying it with your face, right? So we'll get into that in a second, okay? So video. So I'm going to do video. So hey, by the way, do you know where you should be posting this video and hosting this video? Holy moly, this is a thing called YouTube. Have you guys have seen it yet? Okay, more people will go on YouTube and find something and ask about stuff on YouTube than anything else. So we had a guy his name's Levi Lassick. Mitch, you might have heard of Levi. Holy smokes. This guy gets into the real estate business in 2020 in a pandemic, in lockdown. Like his first 50 videos are all wearing a mask, right? Like, hold on. My glasses get steamed up when I do that. Right, he's just doing videos of, hey, let me show you what's going on in the area, right? Let me tell you about all the cool places in Dallas. This guy just consistently does all the cool places in Dallas videos, and people start looking, hey, I'm moving to Dallas. Hey, oh, cool places in Dallas. I should look at this. Hey, I'm Levi Lassick, the real estate agent. Let me show you 5 cool places in Dallas. Let me show you 6 cool places to go for a walk. If you got a dog, I got a park for your dog to hang out at. Let me show you 10 dog parks. You got little kids? They're stupid. Leave them at home because you have way more fun in Dallas without your kids. Oh, wait a minute. No, he didn't do that one. Okay. But so he started just doing stuff about Dallas, right? Okay, so video is super important, so you can pop it on YouTube. Doesn't everybody have a YouTube channel? Okay, who does not have a YouTube channel? Would you like to know how to do a YouTube channel? Really, really easy, simple, one step. Okay, go on YouTube and it's like, how do I build a YouTube channel? That's it. Right? Literally go on YouTube and say, how do I build a channel? And they've got videos on how to build a channel, okay? So just do it, right? Just start it. It's not that hard. I didn't love the process. I still don't love the process, but I do it and I do it consistently, right? So the one thing we will talk about with all of the people that are doing video and doing the online marketing / video marketing related stuff, they said, we got people that'll do all kinds of optimization, but nobody makes content. It's like we struggle getting people to make content. And I'm like, well, the number one thing you should be doing for content is what? Why? Everybody asks that. Does anybody say, hey, what company are you with? What kind of car do you drive? They don't ask you that. How many houses have you sold in the last 6 years? They don't ever ask you that stuff. They always ask, how's the market? So let's get really good at answering that. And I want to drop it on video, because if I drop it on video, then it's me and my pie hole and my fat chubby cheeks. Looks like I ate too many nuts and keep them stored there now. And I'm going to do that video and I'm going to post it on social media. And then 2 days later, I'm going to post it on social media again, because the second time, because I'm going to use the same exact video. And I post it twice and be like, hey, just in case you missed it the other day, here's real estate market update for this area. Okay? And then I could do the second video on the area because I've already got the numbers and the metrics and the information, and I could post that one 2 times too. So, hey, by the way, if you're in the southeastern Michigan, Detroit metro area, here's a real estate market update for the area, which is slightly different than the last one I posted, so you might want to check this out. So if you're thinking about moving anywhere in the Detroit metro market, here's what's going on in the market. Cool? So now I got the same info, I do 2 different videos. Now I got twice the value, right? And then I could post that one time for the local, and 2 days later, 3 days later, post it again, just in case you missed it. Boom. Because a bunch of people don't get it the first time. Are a bunch of people going to skip over it? Yes. Do I do it monthly? Absolutely. Here's the reason why. When is your seller going to sell? But I want to be there when they think about selling, right? So if you guys have ever read the book Ninja Selling, have you guys seen that? Yeah, great book, right? It's called Ninja Selling. I freaking hate ninjas. Ninjas are stupid. They got like stars, and they try to sneak up on people. Samurais, they're badass. You know why? Because they have swords. Samurai swords, awesome, okay? So in Ninja Selling, he talks about this process, and I love this thought process because it kind of quantified and articulated what I always knew in the back of my head, and it was that you need to be in the flow with somebody when they start thinking, hey, maybe I want to sell my house. You know who I'm seeing all the time? right? So you're gonna pop this in there. A lot of people will say, well, Russ, I don't wanna be the real estate person all doing real estate all the time stuff. No, you're not going to be, but you're gonna be posting real estate market update stuff consistently, and then the other stuff you're gonna do is our third recipe was how to do social media correctly, so you get people to come to you, right? So you're gonna do 4 of those for every one of these. You're like, whoa, that's a lot of videos in a month, Russ. Yeah, you should be doing at least 2 a week, right? And I'll show you a simple recipe for doing that. Sound good? I'm gonna put that video on YouTube, so I can record the video, drop it on YouTube, and then I put the link in my social media, and then it ties them to that. And by the way, it ties them to the YouTube channel. And then by the way, when they're on the YouTube channel, they'll be like, oh, hey, he's got this other thing on this other thing. I didn't know they had a dog park over there. They got Greyhound drag racing on Friday nights at 2 a.m. in Livonia? Dang, I didn't know that. My Yorkie's feeling spry. Okay, so I'm going to drop the big area one also in there. So now people are going to start seeing, oh, there's more than just that, potentially. Okay, and the ones that are ready to look are going to look. And you're like, not everybody's going to watch a real estate market update no matter how great it is, right? But when they need to know what's going on, they start thinking, you know, I should know what's going on here. But hey, maybe I should look at this. They're going to look at it when they need to. Okay, so you want to be there when they're ready. Okay, sound good? So the other fun part is somebody said email, right? So now I've got the same thing, same video I did. I've got it on YouTube, and I can send it in email to everybody in my sphere of influence. And here's the reason why. Is everybody in my sphere of influence on YouTube? Is everybody in social media? Same? Is everybody in my Facebook? No? So can I hit some people in email that wouldn't have normally seen it? Are most people going to open it? Nope. You're going to get about a 10% open rate, maybe 20 if you're really good. Okay? The other 80% of people are going to be like, Russ guy, delete. Still saw me. Ha ha. It's like a drive-by, right? Don't know who it was. Heard the gunshots. Okay? Detroit, sorry. Everybody in Detroit's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Kidding. It's not that bad. It's worse. Email. So email, you're going to send it out in email because you're going to catch another cross-section of people, okay? And then here's a jacked up one, guys. You ready for this? Here's a real messed up one. Let me ask you a question. This is kind of disgusting, but if I could make you touch something that I licked and you did it on purpose, would you be cool with that? The lady that likes strippers, she's like, yeah. So think about it like this. If I take this piece of paper and it has a real estate market update on it and it tells people briefly what's going on in writing, are there some people that are going to see this? Because I'm going to stick it in the mail. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold this up, right? And I'm going to put it in an envelope, right? And then what am I going to do with the envelope? You're like, oh, I love those stamps. You don't have to lick the stamps anymore. Well, okay, cool. I still licked it, right? And then what are you going to do? You guys are going to use a letter opener from now on, aren't you? Okay? So you might be like, Russ, that's just disgusting. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a giant child, and I look like a turtle. But if I send you something in the mail, what's the chances of you opening it? Huge, right? Huge. How many people are getting stuff in the mail regularly from their real estate person? Nope. Guess what? Mail is dead. Not no more. Somebody been over there doing CPR on this? It's like the 55 over community on Fridays. Kidding. Mail. Okay? Send it to them in the mail. Every other month at least or so, you're going to want to mail them a quick summary. Hey, by the way, the summer's going to start heating up. I know it's February, but damn, it's hot out there. So February is the hottest February on record, and we're loving it. Have a great time. And all you people that are thinking about moving to North or South Carolina because the weather here really sucks in the summer, don't hesitate to reach out to me when you're ready to go. We call them halfbacks, right? You guys heard that term? Yeah, okay. So they come down here and they're like, the dream, I'm going to live in Florida. And then they get here and they're like, damn, it's hot here. Okay? And they move halfway back, okay? So, but when you're mailing stuff to people, they're still going to throw it in the garbage, but they're going to see it, right? And you're going to be top of mind, and you're going to see this on a reasonably regular basis. At least you want to do this 2 times every other month, right? You want to do it 6 times a year, every other month, okay? So 6 times a year. And the reason being is because some people are never going to see you on YouTube. They're never see you in an email. They're never going to open the email. They're never going to watch you on Facebook, but they will open their mail and they'll be like, oh, real estate market update. Cool. Now, are they going to see you actually talking? No, but will you get some closings from that? Yes. Okay, good. So that's recipe number 1, real estate market update. Gonna do it? I will tell you what, it's a game changer. It's a life changer. It really is. Okay? Cool. Woo, you like that? I didn't make it howl. Okay, so real estate market update. You're gonna do it. Okay. What's that?
I said you didn't have to lick it.
I have to take a sip of water for my response. Pause the video, please. It was Valentine's Day yesterday. And no, I'm just kidding. Right. Okay, so real estate market update, you're gonna do it, right? So here's a fun one. Recipe number 2. Recipe number 2. Okay, recipe number 2 is really simple and silly. Okay, so how many of you guys need to build your sphere of influence and grow it? Anybody? How would you like to add, I don't know, 60 people to it in a really quick period of time? Yeah. With people that actually want to be there? Oh, even better, right? Okay, so let me show you a recipe for that. It's pretty interesting. Let me show you a couple of metrics that are important too. So here's the fun part. Sphere of influence. Do you know what your sphere of influence should convert at plus or minus if you do a good job with it? Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys heard people say you should work your sphere of influence? Yeah. You hear that all the time, right? And the next question out of your mouth every time somebody's like, you gotta work your sphere. And you're like, how? Right? Just start yelling, how? Everybody's like, what's wrong with these people? Every time I say sphere of influence, they start yelling, how? Okay? Sphere of influence should convert at plus or minus right around 10%. Ooh, all right. Anybody good at math? Never mind, you're realtors. Let's go to a number we know, 3%. Realtor can multiply 3% times anything on the top of their head, but they can't do it. Okay, so plus or minus, your sphere of influence should convert at around 10%. So when you're looking at me and say, hey, Russ, have you coached some real estate agents? Yep, coached a couple of national ranked top real estate agents. And the funny thing is, I'm not teaching them how to do a bunch of knucklehead stuff. I'm teaching them actually how to build a sphere of influence and do business mostly by referral. Okay, so we're talking like 2012. I resigned from running a real estate office for somebody else and went out in 2012, going from broker for 5 years, running an office, not competing, to selling houses, sold 105 houses at 13. It was all right, it was a good year. It's all right. 14 was 143, bought 50% of a real estate company that year, sold as a fix and flipper 15 months later for a bunch more than I paid for it. Closed 136 houses that year. I never touched a single one of them. Yeah, the only thing I like more than making money is making money without working. Okay? So fail and do a little bit of work and still make a bunch of money, okay? But when we start teaching people how to work their sphere and working past business, if you have a large group of people that's past business and you start doing things like real estate market video update, then you start becoming their go-to person. You could be the go-to person for a shit ton of people if you have a whole list of people that you've had some type of interaction with, right? So this is kind of fun. Now the game starts to begin. So let's say you do a horrible job and you only hit it 8%. Oh, the horror, right? Do you guys know what typical lead conversion is when you're buying leads and stuff online? What is a good conversion rate for lead generation stuff that you pay money for?
1 and 2.
What's that?
1 and 2. 2%.
Just scream out a number.
2.
2? Okay. So the rock stars, the people that are really good are right around 3%. The ones that are reasonably normal, 2% is pretty normal, okay? If you get the guys that are teaching it on stage that are really amazing at it, and they're ClickFunnels people, and they're computer people, and they have people working, and they have ISAs, and all these other acronyms that we don't know what they mean, right? They have alphabet soup that they work with. They're hitting 4%, okay? If you don't have the alphabet soup group, then you're probably going to be most likely at 2%, and that's conversion over 8 to 12 months. Okay, so here's the rub. A lot of people, have you guys ever taken some leads and stuff? You're like, I work these leads, and they're all junk. Anybody had that experience? Well, here's the reason why. In the first 30 days, most lead generation stuff online converts at about 0.25%, right? So in the first 30, 60, 90 days, if you're doing really good, if you're doing really good in the first 30, 60, 90 days, you're hitting at a 0.5%, right? Which means you got to go through about 200 or so to get to one closing. The problem is you got to time it right. Because you got to get that one person out of that 200 in the whole span of the month that's ready to go now and calls you instead of calling somebody else. And you got this timing game, so it kind of feels like you're always chasing your tail around and you're really never actually getting a hold of anything. And you're like, I got a couple closings, but I feel like I'm chasing a lot of crap to get to the point where I have one closing. Anybody get that? Yeah. It feels like a rat race. Okay? That's because this is what typical lead conversion is. If you say, hey, I'm going to have people do all the crappy stuff that I don't enjoy, and they do it over 8 to 12 months, I can get the conversion rate up to plus or minus 2%. But you got to have systems, you got to have funnels, you got to have drip campaigns and all those things to get that to convert, right? Yep. So let me ask you this. What should you be working on? Has any... Market update 1. Number 2, I'm going to show you in a second, right? Okay, so shifting mindset comes down to a sense of confidence, right? The higher your level of confidence, the more definitive your actions are going to be. The more definitive your actions are going to be, the more concise your results and bigger your results are going to be, right? So I want you to act as if you believe this is a fact, okay? Has anybody ever walked you through the numbers of why? Because you say, well, work your sphere. Why? Now you know. Whoops, wish somebody told me that when I was brand new. Okay, now you know. Here's the rat race. And there's a bunch of people out there selling us a bunch of shiny objects. Don't fall for it, okay? Stop doing that stuff, start working your sphere. Only work your sphere. And when you get great at working your sphere, you want to add some lead generation, you're welcome to do that. But work your sphere first, because it's going to give you the highest and best return consistently. So let's do some realtor math, okay? If I have 200 people in my sphere of influence, how many sales should I be able to do out of my sphere? You might be like, well, Russ, geez, I still don't 100% believe you. Anybody don't believe me 100% yet? You're scared to put your hands up now. Good, it works. Kidding. So let's, you guys tell me, how often does the average American move? Recently, it's actually dropped down a little bit, and there's a bunch of things, in fact, that factor in it. But typically, historically, let's say historically it's around 7. Okay, because that's actually going to give us a more conservative number than 5. It's been closer to 5 for a lot of, Florida does turn faster, but nationally it's typically around 7 in a reasonably normal market. Okay, so let's go 7. So if that's the case and we got 100 people in our sphere and people move every 7 years, you could take your sphere and divide it by 7. I mean, it's 1/7 is going to move every year, right? So what's 1/7 of a 100? I love realtors. 100 divided by 7. That guy's like, he's like, hey, listen, where are title ladies at? That guy's gonna double his money on the way out the door. He's like, screw you, Russ, I win. You said 7, I got 14, bite me. Okay, 7. Okay, so if I've got 200 people in my sphere, hang on, 200 people in my sphere, how many? 4. He's like, I'm not saying anything. 14, right? This guy is way ahead of me. That's the problem. You guys weren't even keeping up. He was ahead of everybody, okay? Thanks for letting me pick on you, by the way. Not that you had a choice. I got the microphone.
Thick skin on a realtor.
You ever think about stripping? All right, so 14 people are going to sell their house plus or minus do something, move every year, right? What percentage of Americans are first-time home buyers right now, plus or minus? About 35% any given year, okay? Which means if there's 200 people, that means 70 of them, that means there's like a 35, back up. 14, if you got 35% are first-time home buyers, that means 65% of them probably live in a house. So let's just say half of them have to sell a house. So we don't have 14 transaction sides. We have 14 transaction sides plus another 7. So we have more like 21 transaction sides going on in our sphere of influence almost any given year. Because when somebody moves, they sell their house and they buy another one. Unless they're in Florida. Okay, so 21. So I'm not saying get all of them. I'm saying just get 10% of them. Just get 10% of the 200. Okay, does this number sound reasonable? Yeah. Does it sound like, dang, if I knew, and now I can go after this because this makes sense. 10% makes sense when you're going 21% of people are moving, transaction count wise, right? So let's leverage that and run with it, okay? So here's the deal. What are you guys selling? Let me draw something for you here. She just said, houses? Yeah, we sell houses, right? And every house we sell is perfect. No? No? Home inspector, where's our home inspector? Yeah. See, like, you want to sell that? Like, I'm selling that guy better than he sold that guy. Like, listen, the houses people are selling are junk. No, I'm kidding. The houses people are selling, there's stuff wrong with it, right? Like, does everybody live in a house? Yeah. Is your house perfect? No. Yeah, exactly. Right? Neither is mine, okay? So we sell houses. So don't you think as part of our normal course of being a real estate agent, we should have a contractor list? So here's a statistic that's funny. Not really, makes you want to throw up. After a real estate closing, what percentage of real estate agents communicate with that person after closing? Statistics, right? Very, very low number. Less than 10% of people stay in communication with the people after that closing. This is somebody that did business with you, would most likely do business with you again, and potentially refer other people to do business with you, and you don't reach out to them at all. If you did nothing else, what should you be sending them? Damn! I wrote the answer on the wall. Yeah, real estate market update, right? Why? In the last 4, 5, 6 years, you're like, hey, by the way, you bought a house 5 years ago, and you know what? I'm awesome. Because your house is worth a shit ton more money now than it was 5 years ago. Call them and tell them how great you are. Hey, let me tell you what your house is worth now. Okay? And you're not going to do that, by the way. But what I'm saying is that the real estate agents don't communicate with them afterwards. And here's why. Then they start going, real estate agent, like, you got all these people you did business with. Why don't you call them? You know what the real estate agent said consistently? No, they have plenty of time. I'm afraid that something on the house broke, and they're going to blame me for it. Might be conscious, might be subconscious, but when you ask a whole bunch of them the same question, you get a whole bunch of people telling you the same answer. There's probably something to it. Okay? So number one, home inspections help because you kind of know what you're getting into, right? And you buy yourself a little bit of insulation. Number two, was it your house that you sold them? Well, it's probably not your fault that something broke on the house, right? So let's stop that thinking process. I'm not responsible for those people's house. My job is to list the house and sell the house, help a buyer find a house. But at no point am I supposed to be taking responsibility for that house and what's gone on with the house, what's going to go on with that house. Let's be really clear. Something on that house is going to break in the next year, right? So instead of hiding from these people, why don't we become a resource for these people? Now I'm going to shift the conversation going in. It goes like this. Hey, by the way, every time we get somebody that buys a house, guess what happens? Something in the next year breaks, right? We went in there, we looked at the house, I looked at the house, you looked at the house. Thank God your dad didn't show up and help us look at the house because he knows everything. But aside from that, after we close on the house, something is going to break on this house. And when it does, I want you to call me first. Because what I've got is a contractor list of preferred contractors who can help fix the problem for you. So use me as a resource. We know something's going to break at some point, so use me as a resource. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Now am I staying in communication with them? Yeah. Now when something breaks on the house, they call me up and go, Russ, this house broke and you sold me a piece of crap. No. They're like, hey, Russ, you told me you can help me solve this problem. Do you have somebody that does this? Okay? So should you have a contractor list so you can help people solve issues? Okay? Here, let me really screw you guys up, okay? How often does the average person buy or sell a house?
7 years.
Every 7 years. How often does something break on a house? 7 times a year, right? So if you would like to increase your contact rate with your people by 49 times, right? I have stuff happen on my house all the time, and they're telling me, I wish I knew somebody to find. So I reach out and I find somebody, right? If you become the resource for them when they have something going wrong with the house, do you think they're going to call you when it's time to sell that house? Yeah. And their friends are going to sell that house? Remember we talked about being in the flow? You want them thinking about you. You don't want them to be like, oh, Russ got me in a headlock again. He's trying to sell me another stupid house. No, Russ is a resource now. Okay? So if I become a resource and then people go, bing, call Russ. I know on social media I'm doing this right. When somebody says, hey man, my plumbing thing blew up. Who knows a good plumber? And then 3 people are like, ask Russ, he knows everyone. See that? Right? They call me when it's time for a plumber. They're going to call me when it's time to sell a house. By the way, they're getting my market update every month, and they also make sure I remind them every once in a while, hey, by the way, guys, if you know of anybody that's really good in the contracting business, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll put them on my preferred contractor list. So I manage a preferred contractor list. Let me ask you guys, any of your customers slash clients slash people in your sphere of influence contractors? You think if you're there, you put them on your preferred contractor list, you think they're going to sell their house with somebody else? Some of them will. Let's be real, okay? But a bunch of them would be more loyal to you, right? So I'm going to manage a contractor list. So here's the fun part. There's a couple different things we can do with this, okay? So contractor list. So I put together a list of about 60 contractors, 60 types of contractors, since I was one and worked with a bunch of them. Okay, 60 different ones. Would you guys like to see that list? Save you from having to figure it out yourself by wandering around Home Depot. You're like, wonder who installs that? I got a list for you, right? Okay, so here's the fun part. You guys want to add some people to your sphere of influence? What did we say your sphere of influence converts at? How many people we just add to our sphere of influence? 60. Yeah, so here's the fun part. Contractors list don't convert at 10%. Converts more like 5. Still not bad, right? So I've got 60 people. What's 5% of 60? Here, let me do this for you. 3. Okay, 10% would be 6. Contractor list convert at 3, just because of the nature of the beast. We track it. That's how we know. Okay, so you manage a contractor. Okay, so, well, now what? Let me ask you guys a question. Simple. Are there high-end homes and low-end homes? Are there high-end homes and fix and flippers? Yep. Yes. Okay, so is a high-end plumber the same as a fix and flipper plumber? No, right? So do I want to send my $1 million plumber to a fix and flip? He's going to freak him out on the price, right? Do I want to send my butt crack hanging out ex-stripper plumber to the house at the $1 million place? No, right? No, because he's going to creep him out, okay? Not that he's not a good guy, it's just not his wheelhouse, right? You're going to hand him the 10 shower head thing and with the control panel, and he's going to be like, what the hell do I do with that, right? Because it's not his wheelhouse stuff, but the $1 million plumber guy is probably going to know how to program the stupid thing, right? Not either one is better than the other. Trust me, when I want somebody to do a deal cheap, I'm going to call the guy that gets the job done cheap. But if I get a fancy thing, I'm going to call the guy that does a fancy stuff, and I expect to pay more for it. So we have 2 different people, 2 different customers, 2 different clients. So should I have 2 different plumbers? Yeah, so I got a high-end guy and a low-end guy. So now my plumbing list just went to 120. So you can take the list I gave you of 60, and you can multiply that by 2 because you get a high-end and a low-end. So now I got a high-end plumber, low-end plumber, electrician, high-end, low-end, high-end roofer, low-end roofer. I got a high-end landscape guy, a low-end landscape guy. Got a high-end window guy, a low-end window guy. Okay, so you start making this list, and that's going to convert at about what percent? Okay, so how many sales is that? Now, because I lost my box a long time ago, there's people that think in the box, there's people that think outside the box, and there's people that lost their box. Mine is somewhere. I don't know where, and I don't want to find it. Okay, so here's the way my brain thinks. My brain thinks, well, okay, that's great, but wait, there's more. I've got 120 contractors. I've got a high end and a low end. Is my high end guy good? So is he busy? Do I need a backup guy just because he's busy? Yeah. Is my low end guy good? Yeah. Is he busy? So do I need a backup guy for my low end guy? So I need 4 plumbers. You're going, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. What else are you doing? You're not calling your customers after close. You got plenty of time. Got plenty of time for this. Okay, so I've got 240 people in my contractor list now, or 12 closings just coming from my contractor list. Guys, you could just manage a contractor list and make a pretty damn good living. Even if you half-ass it, you're still doing better. Let's be clear. For some of you, if you quarter-ass it, you're still doing better. Free business right there, guys, and you become a resource. Now, how do you do that? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to say, hey, I'm looking for a good high-end plumber that works in high-end homes, that shows up on time, is a fair price, does a good job of communication, and is nice. Who do you know? And what's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of people in your sphere of influence that you don't really communicate with on a regular basis. You're going to be like, hey, I just got a plumber guy, came to my house, he did a really good job, here's his info. Great. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And then I'm going to send them a private message on Messenger, and I'm going to say, hey, by the way, thanks for the plumber contact. I really appreciate it. By the way, do you get my... What? Oh my gosh, now I can resell that thing, right? So then I give them value. So they gave me value. Do I give them value back? Yeah, it's a law of reciprocity. You know what that means? Yeah, right? So when somebody gives you something, you naturally feel like you want to give back, right? So when I give them something, they naturally want to give to me. When I give to them, they naturally want to give. I give to them, they give me, I give to them, right? So law of reciprocity, I give them something back. Now here's something that's really jacked up, okay? In social media, particularly in Facebook currently, if I have somebody comment on something I post, they comment on it, I comment back under, like it, thank you for that, appreciate it, and then I go into Messenger and I click on message and I send them a private message saying thank you very much for that referral, I really appreciate it. What happens? Oh, yes you do. You are in their feed trough. You stick that little piggy face in there, and feed, no, wrong feed, sorry. I've been living next to cows. Literally the field behind us has a bunch of cows. Yeah, you pop up in their feed. You hijack the way Facebook works by just doing that one little simple thing. And then you start popping up all the time. Now you're making a couple comments about other stuff, and you're helping people build a contractor list. And by the way, if anybody you know is family of yours, and they're a contractor, I'd like to add them to my list if they fit this criteria. Now people are going, wow, this guy's helping somebody else build their business. So it's Russ the realtor helping other people build their business. Part of my business is helping take care of other people. And when I help take care of other people, it makes me feel good. So I'm helping other people build their business in the process of building my business. So if you know somebody's a good contractor, send them my way. And they're like, that Russ guy's pretty cool. He's such a nice guy. He's such a nice boy. Okay, so just in the process of building a contractor list, what are most real estate agents doing out there? Ready? Pick your feet up. Please, just get them up. High, right? Look at me, I'm a realtor. Look at me, I'm a giant stupid key. My giant stupid clients. I just sold a stupid house. I want to see a dentist go online and Facebook like, just do this the worst way you could possibly do this. And dentist's like, watch this, y'all. I got this, right? It's like, he's in there, he's got somebody's jaw like this, and it's a dude from Apopka, you know, his like tooth, right? He's working on his one tooth, right? And then he's like, look at me, I'm just drilling the hell out of this guy's tooth, and everybody's going, oh my God, no, stop it! Like, and he's got the soundtrack to That's what it feels like to everybody else watching you and your stupid giant key things. Okay, I'm not saying don't do it, but what I will tell you is the only people that think that's a great idea are other realtors. Nobody else outside of real estate goes, oh, I love seeing those. Okay? So when you're starting to do this kind of stuff, instead of saying, look at me, you're saying, hey, look at me helping you. Let me help you. So it's like, instead of saying, let me get something from you, here, let me give something to you. I got a guy that, and I won't name his name, but Neil is a jerk. And he stands there with his stupid sign, and he's like, hey, if you guys need a real estate agent, I'm your guy. And he stands there with his stupid sign. He's like, and I'm like, dude, your mom stopped liking that. Like 2 likes, right? And then somebody accidentally tripped over it. It wasn't even purpose, right? So guys, stop doing that stuff. Start adding value. So now you've got things you can add value. I'm not saying don't do any of that. I'm just simply saying do this more. Do this way more. Do this way more. And what happens? People start coming to you instead of running from you. Okay? I know some of them are like, ha, ha, ha. I wasn't kidding. It's funny, kind of, but it's sad because like how many of you guys need to make a little more money? Yeah, right? So like, let's do this stuff. And you get people coming to you, right? You start building rabid fans, okay? So there's contractor list. Good? Recipe number 2. If I had a third recipe, would you like to see it? Okay, so here's a fun part. Mitch, I told you I would, well, that wall's greasy. Apparently a chef, like, they had a buffet here. You know, when I strip at night, I get this oil all over me, and my fingers are slippery. Okay, so, all right, so contractor list, good. Market update, contractor list. So Mitch, I'm going to send you the list, the contractor list, and it's got the 60 things in it. I'm going to send you that list, and at the bottom of it, it's got that recipe. You guys are like, oh my God, please, I want to know that recipe. It's got the recipe written on the bottom on how to do that and implement that. Okay, so I'm going to send.
There's only $25
And I'm going to send it to Mitch, and he'll charge $25 for access to that. Okay, and we'll split it because I need more oil. Okay. All right, so recipe number 1 was? And you're going to do them, right? Yep. And there's a video that I'm going to send to Mitch that'll say how and why to do a real estate market update and a couple samples, right? I will do one for you guys live here, Okay, so I'll show you how I do a short one here. I'll show you the whole thing. You can watch me do it, okay? Ooh, now I'm nervous. Okay, and then recipe number 2 is? Build your sphere contractor list, right? Okay, let's define sphere of influence, okay? Anybody you know and anybody that knows you. That's your sphere of influence. You're like, what? But I only like the people that like me. Okay, all 4 of those people. Plus, let's do all the people that don't like you because it's a bigger list probably, okay? So sphere of influence, I'm going to define sphere of influence as somebody I have name, address. And people are like, well, do you really need their addresses? I don't know. Do you want to sell their effing house? You probably need to know where it is. It'd be helpful. We're house people. And by the way, that's what we call the house. Okay, so address, get the address, just ask, right? When somebody's like, how's the market? You're like, oh, the market's pretty good. Would you like me to show you how to get top dollar for your house? And about, no, I do a real estate market update. You want me to send it to you? Great, your name? How do you spell that? Smith with an E? You're like, what are you, an idiot? Smith, S-M-I-T. With an E, and oh, no, I got it, right? Always ask, because you don't know, right? Okay, and what was the lady that came in late? What was her name? Last night. What? How do you say your name again?
Milagros.
Milagros, right? And how do most people pronounce it?
Milagros.
Milagros. Hey, Milagros, how you doing? Milagros, right? So like, and then I spell it phonetically, because I will never remember that. Okay, and then you get, and okay, and what's your address, right? Well, what if they look at me and they say, well, why do you need my address? I don't know, I want to mail you a $100 bill, but now just being such a jerk, I'm not going to send you shit, right? I send everybody $100 on their birthday, but you don't want to bite me, okay? One less thing for you to worry about. You're going, right? Like, you've got something they want, they'll give it to you, right? Okay, so address. Do you need their phone number? And then email. And you're like, well, email? Yeah, remember part of our recipe is email, right? Okay, so you need their address because you got to send something you lick to him, and he's going to touch it, okay? And then I need their phone because every once in a while I might pick up the phone and be like, hey, did you get the thing I sent on the thing? Did you see the shift that's going on? Fax? And they're like, no, I didn't. Okay, that's because there isn't one, and that's what I said on the video. You should probably watch the video and tell you there's really not a shift going on. This is actually like wintertime, inventory should go up a little bit. That's normal, okay? So that's basic info. When you have one of those, what I would do, I have a point system that I would track with my people and myself, because at the end of the day, I got to the end of the day and I was like, my wife's like, well, what did you do today? And I was like, I worked. And my wife's like, on what? I'm like, stuff. And she's like, what stuff? And the real question would have been like, hey, when the hell are we going to get a freaking paycheck, okay? That's what she probably should have asked, but she's way too nice. Can you imagine the type of woman that has to put up with me without dollar bills all the time? You thought I was going to let that go? I'm not, okay? First time anybody ever said that, so I'm going to run with it. Okay, so the important part is you have to have a way to track yourself. So I built this little thing called 30 Points to Success, so I knew every single day I got to get 30 points of money-making activities. One of my things was if I got this information from somebody, then I would get points for that, right? So if I did that a couple times a day, I would have enough points for a whole day. So now I get to that and I'm like, did I do my job today? Yeah, I got my 30 points? Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna get 40 because I'm an overachiever, right? So I get 40 points a day, and at the end of the week, I know I got 40 times 5, 200 points for the week, and I got to Friday, 200 points. If I had 200 points before noon on Friday, you know what I did Friday afternoon? No, I rode a bike because well, you got to stretch before you go on the bike, right? No, I'm kidding. I'd go and play golf, right? And I'd go out and golf, and how would I go golf? I'd do it like this. I go out to the golf course by myself with my sticks, and I'm like, hey, you guys got 3 people, you need a 4th? And they're like, only if you're funny. I'm like, no, not really, but I'll buy drinks. And they're like, okay. So I go golf with 3 strangers I don't know, and what would happen? And we're playing golf, and the guy's like, oh, I've never seen anybody golf wearing a vest and a shirt and a tie. Oh, well, that's how I roll. And they go, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a realtor during the day and a stripper at night. And then the one guy's like, oh, me too. I'm like, how's the market? You think that would come up, playing golf? Yeah, uh-huh. So guess what I did? You know, people ask me that all the time. Okay, do you see how this works? And my wife's like, what are you doing? You're going golfing every Friday. I'm like, yeah, but I had 3 people in my sphere, and I do that once a week, and that's 12 people in a month, and that's 12 times 12 is 144, is 144 people, and I can generate 14 sales from that, and here's 6 people that I did business with in the last year that I golfed with, and that's 6 times at that point, 200 average sales price, $6,000, that's $36,000 from golfing. And golfing cost me about $3,500, so from a business perspective, we're net $32,500 ahead. Do you want me to stop golfing? You know what she said? No. You need to golf more. So let me tell you my drinking program. So I go out to the okay, I can do this all day, guys. I seriously can. Okay, so I'm going to go out and do things that I enjoy, and I'm going to build my business doing that. So for me, adding somebody to my sphere that I don't already know, and I've got something they want, and I add that info, that's a win for me. If I could do that 3, 4, 5 times a week, just doing stuff I love. People are like, well, Russ, how do I build my business? Well, I don't know. Go out and do stuff you love. And when you do stuff you love, now you have a way to convert that. See, if you go out and do stuff you love, and you don't have a way to convert that, you're just out having fun. But now if I'm out doing stuff that I love, and I can convert that into money, now I got a hobby that's paying for itself, generating income, and well, let's see, Russ, what's your business? I don't know, I golf and I make money. They're like, what? So what should I do to grow my business, Russ? Oh, I don't know, go out and have more fun. Huh? Do you remember how this started? Hey Russ, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go out and do a bunch of stuff that sucks. And if you get really good at it, you'll have a bunch of money, but it'll still suck. What's my mantra? Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise. Happy first, right? So if I'm not happy, I'm not having fun, I'm not wanting to do it, right? And if I do that and I do a reasonable job being healthy, and then I make a bunch of money, now I got a happy, healthy, wealthy person. Is that good? If you got happy, healthy, wealthy person, everybody gonna call that one wise? Yeah, well, you earned the last one. So happy first, right? Do stuff you love. Okay, so now you guys have some stuff that you like. Are you willing to do? Could you like this? Yeah, okay, so happy first, right? And then healthy, make sure you're taking care of yourself. By the way, I did a ton of business with people doing triathlons. I was training for triathlons. I was racing triathlons in my 30s, my later 30s. I'd go out and then I'd train with a bunch of people on bikes, right? You got a bunch of dudes on bikes and a bunch of girls on bikes and a whole big pile of them, and you show up regularly and you show up consistently. And then what happens? You're riding a bicycle along and somebody behind you is like, hey, Russ, what do you do? I've never seen anybody ride a bike wearing a vest and a shirt and a tie before. Don't worry, I don't wear this when I'm stripping. Okay, so, yeah, right? And they're like, now there's like 50 people every week, and then there's another 50 people, and then I realized, hey, I'm riding a mountain bike around in Florida, which is brilliant, right? Ultimate oxymoron. Mountain biking in Florida, right? It's more like chasing around phosphate mines and trying not to get eaten by an alligator. I'll tell you what, these guys in Colorado, they're like, it's downhill and steep. I'm like, yeah, at the bottom we have alligators. Okay, so I'm riding a mountain bike, and then I realized if I ride a mountain bike consistently, there's this guy, Gary, that follows me around, and every time I'm followed around, he's like, hey, Russ, how's the market? I'm like, son of a bitch, it's me and my spandex and my knee pads and my elbow pads and my helmet and my vest and my tie. And, and he's asking me about the real estate market every time we're riding because he knows I'm the real estate guy. So I give him an update live, doing 15 miles an hour through the woods, okay? Kicking armadillos. Okay, but that's the life, that's the reality, right? And then I realized there's 700 people in a Swamp Mountain Biking Club. Oh, I could just ride my bike every day. My wife's like, what are you doing on Tuesday night? Riding my bike. What do you do on Thursday? Well, they got the other ride at the other place. I got to go. Saturday's work day to help do the, help clean up the trails. And by the way, the work day is even better because what happens? You're standing around helping people work, and you sit down like, man, I'm really tired. It's really hot. Oh man, hey Russ, it's good to see you. Hey, by the way, how's the market? Only happened like 800 times, right? So I had 543 people every month that got my real estate market update. Those are the ones that volunteered that wanted it, okay? Got to get that information, count them as part of your sphere of influence, okay? So now, recipe number 3, okay? Recipe number 3, okay? Everybody says social media is important. Yes, I spelled that. S-O-C-A-I-L. See the way I spell? Like, what? We're missing an I. There's no I in team. Okay, so social media done right. Okay, so let's think about this, guys. Do people want to see you bragging about your business? No. Do people want to see you as the real estate person doing cool stuff? Yes. Would they like to see the real estate agent doing interesting things? Would they like to see the real estate guy that rides a bike? Yeah. Would they? Yeah, they will. Yeah, because all my bike nerds want to see the bike nerd doing bike nerd stuff. She's like, no. Okay. Do all of the people that like food like seeing me posting pictures of Russ the Realtor doing cool food? Yeah. Could Russ the Realtor do a whole social media campaign on checking out cool mom and pop privately owned restaurants? Yeah. Could Russ the Realtor be the guy that is Russ the Realtor, the foodie, checking out food around town? Yeah. Could it be, well, see, Russ, I don't really have a whole lot of money for that, but hey, could it be Russ the Realtor checking out the 10 best places to get good dinner for under 20 bucks? Could I be Russ the Realtor checking out every roadside cockroach-infested barbecue joint on the side of the road? Heck yeah, right? Get your shots and go take a wing at it, right? See what happens. Get a tetanus shot, get a flu shot. Drink some whiskey and tequila after to kill any bugs you eat on that thing. Man, you have some cool barbecue, right? Could you be Russ the Realtor that's got kids? Got 2 little shrimp kids, right? Russ the Realtor, like, here's 10 cool places to take your kids, right? Could I be Russ the Realtor that's a grandpa? Hey, if you've got grandkids, here's 5 places you got to take your grandkids. Yeah, so every week I'm going to do Russ the Realtor taking my grandkids to somewhere cool. You could be a cool grandpa, cool grandma. Go out and do stuff. You're doing it anyway, right? So could you quantify that? Absolutely. Right? So part of social media is going to be having a flavor, right? So you gotta have a flavor of some sort. So instead of your real estate stuff and your real estate social stuff being just like, hey, look at me, I'm a realtor, it's Russ the Realtor doing cool stuff. Russ the Realtor seeing interesting things. Now let's tie that with that thing that I previewed for you guys before, Levi Lassick, this guy in Dallas. He goes out and he's like, hey, let me show you everything cool in Dallas. And when people Google Dallas whatever, he shows up. It's Levi the Realtor showing you all the dog parks in Dallas. It's Levi the Realtor showing you all the bike trails in Dallas. It's Levi the Realtor showing you all the cool restaurants in Dallas. It's Levi the Realtor doing tours of all of the museums. Levi the Realtor doing all the cool places to take kids. Levi the Realtor going to Wolf Lodge and showing everybody the water park. And he's like, naked down the water slide. Oh, wait a minute, that's me. Only did it once. Yeah. Check my police record. Kidding. Okay, so start thinking of social media differently. So stop thinking of social media as look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Start thinking of social media, what can I do for you? What can I inform you of? Where can I show you, right? So if somebody pops into this town right now and says, tell me 3 cool places I gotta see. What do you tell them? I don't know. Okay, so I go to Cape Canaveral, and I'm like, okay, Cape Canaveral, go to Cape Canaveral. Great, great. Well, I've done that, right, by the way, and their police are pretty serious. They're like, how did you get back here? I'm like, I don't know, I was driving a minivan, the gate was open, so I just drove through. They're like, you realize you're in a restricted place? And I'm like, no, if I knew that, I probably would have tried to escape and not got caught. But since I pulled over immediately, well, you shouldn't be here, sir. I'm like, I don't know. The realtor told me to go to Cape Canaveral, so I freaking went to Cape Canaveral. So let's get real specific, okay? So, right? So think about it. Think about it from a perspective of somebody that's not from here, right? Show me 3 cool places to go. So somebody comes into town, what do they want to see here? Something you guys have that's unique. Why would somebody want to see something here, right? But by the way, if you like spacemen stuff, you guys check this out, right? I love this. So I got a little gift, and because somebody pays attention, thank you very much. She gave me a little gift. It was Ron John, right? Oh yeah, Ron John. You guys could see me surfing with this, right? Get my vest put over the top of it, my tie on, wrap it around there, long sleeve, right? So I don't get jellyfish. And then on the back of it, because I like space stuff, right? This is cool, right? Yeah. So last time I was in Florida last year, I hung out and hid for 3 months from Michigan weather because it sucks. I saw like five rocket launches. But I never could figure out where to freaking see them and get a good view of them, right?
You call me.
What? I didn't know you that well then. Now I know you well, right? She gave me a Tervis tumbler too with the same thing on it. Okay, that's true love in my book, right? It's like, you know, true love in Florida is when you get a Tervis, right? That's it. Okay, nobody else in the world knows what that is except Florida. Everybody knows what Tervis is. Okay, so for that social flavor is like, hey, if you're going to see a rocket launch, here's 2 places you got to check out, right? What else? Do people want to see the beach? Yeah. Are all the beaches here created equal? No. Do they have any nude beaches here? Yes. I already knew that. Fire up the music. Here goes Russ again. All right. So think about doing social media differently. Think about doing social media, number 1, how do I give something to you? Number 2, so how do I do something consistently? Number 3, you want to get known for the person that knows all the cool stuff about all the cool stuff everywhere, right? Do you have to know all of it? No, but you just start, right? How do you get to become known as the person that knows of all the cool places? Start going to all the cool places, right? Start asking people, right? So I could go on social and I could ask the question, hey guys, if you were in this town for only 2 days, what do you have to see? You're gonna get all kinds of crazy answers, right? Somebody's like, well, you gotta go to the bonsai place. What? Well, the bonsai guy's gonna think the bonsai place is cool, right? Beach person gonna think the beach is cool. Space person gonna think space is cool. Surf guy's gonna think the surf is cool. Bike guy's gonna think the biking's cool. Golf guy's gonna think the golfing's cool. Could you get a bunch of different answers from a bunch of different people? Yeah. So what do? I say, hey, by the way, Russ the Realtor here. I'm looking for all the cool places in this area. What do you guys recommend? Now on social media, somebody's gonna be like, you could check out this thing. And then I go in and I say, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Then what do? I go into Messenger and I'm like, hey, thanks for that suggestion on the thing over there. By the way, do you get my real estate market update? Ding, 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 ding. How do I sneak that attack on everybody? By the way, I do this every month. And by the way, I'm building out a whole series of videos on this. If you want me to keep you on the list for that, let me know. Yes, I do. Boom. You're welcome. Oh, by the way, do you live in a house? You do? Oh, good. Is your house perfect? No? Things break on it? Yep. I got a list of people that can help you with that. So if you ever get stuck and something breaks on your house, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you out. Sound good? Yeah. Cool. Good? You guys are like, holy shit, this is actually thought out. Yeah. Huh. Wouldn't have thought so in the beginning, right? Okay, so social flavor. This gives you the ability to start building an ad. And he's like, nah, I thought this was going sideways. Okay, so social flavors, cool, okay? So I'm gonna start doing things that are cool. So when you say, Russ, how do I build my business? So now I'm not chasing people, right? I'm building my business. I'm not recruiting people, I'm building my business. I'm not trying to get stuff from people, I'm trying to give stuff to people. In the process, people want to give stuff to me because of the law of reciprocity, okay? Social media, boom, super strong, okay? And you're gonna put all those little videos on YouTube, right? And then did you know you can optimize stuff on YouTube? Would you like to learn how? Yeah. Go on YouTube and type in optimize. And they'll tell you how to do it. You thought I knew how to do that? Hell no. No, kidding. Yeah, so you go on YouTube. So now you got all these little nugget videos, and here's what happens. You're gonna search optimize it, and you're gonna do a little hashtag Space Coast, hashtag Spaceman, hashtag Russ the Realtor, right? You're gonna do your stuff with that, and you're gonna start making connections. And when somebody's like, hey, I'm going to the Space Coast, what's cool to see? Bam, okay? This guy, Levi Lassick, his first year just doing that, talking about stuff that's cool. He posts it on social, drops it on his YouTube channel. He built out 50, 60, 70 videos and just search optimize them, which is basically put your name in there. So I'm gonna put Russ Laggan, Russell Laggan, Russ Wagon, somebody spelled wrong. Laggan with 1 G, right? Space Coast, Realtor, real estate. Okay, that's it. So you're like, real estate, Russ, cool. And it's like fun. People are like, fun places in Space Coast. Boom. Now you pop up. Okay? So you can cross-reference that with your social, drop it on your YouTube. So Levi Lassick in his first year doing real estate, not being a real estate agent, just doing his YouTube channel well, 64 closings. Oh, it gets worse. 150 something last year. He's only been doing this 2 years. He's at 150 something. Okay? All he's doing is this stuff, guys. That's all he's doing. What's that?
Does he show the houses too? Where does he hire people?
Let's see, if you close 64 houses, you can do it any way you want. Yeah, well, you could, right? He can have a team. So I did 143 closings in 15 with one full-time, one part-time person. Okay, so is it very doable? Sure, but you gotta have systems for that. Okay, so with that being said, can you guys do that type of social? Big shift in the way you do social. Okay, I have a white paper that has a list of the different things you can talk about as a real estate agent. Would you guys like to see that list? Yes. You kind of get some juices flowing, right? Okay, and then at the bottom of it's got the little recipe that details out what I just told you. They go on Facebook and go on social and, okay? And then anybody reaches out, you reach back out to them again. By the way, I didn't add this, but I'm gonna have to add this. Reach out to them in Messenger. I just learned that one last week, by the way, from a guy named Tristan Ahumada, lab coat agents, consulted Facebook on social media. Pretty smart guy, right? He's the one that figured out that little hack where if you messenger them, then you pop up everywhere. And they're like, this Russ the Realtor guy is eating better than anybody else I know, right? Okay, so that's the kind of stuff you can do. So that's recipe number 3. Good? Whew. Okay, so you guys want to learn how to do video? Okay, ready? No, you're not. He's like, I've met this guy. No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not ready for this. Okay, so video. So the quick version of video, okay? Super, super simple, okay? Let's do video. Let's do a separate thing here. Okay, video. Okay, number 1. What's rule number 1 of video? Do it. Do it, okay? Okay, let's do video made simple. Okay, video 101, okay? 1, opening. 2, stuff. Let me know if I get too technical. 3, I'm talking to myself here, guys, by the way, because everybody else is making it so hard. I'm like, can you make this my version? Okay. 3, close. Well, Russ, doing video is really hard. Uh-huh. I'm like, everything I do, I try to simplify, okay? So if I could actually make this 2 steps, that would be even better, right? Well, let's be clear. Number 1 and number 3, damn near identical. Okay, so you really only have 2. So if you get the opening, just repeat the opening backwards. And all you do is smash some stuff in the middle. And if you smash 2 things in the middle, we call that double stuff. So real estate video sandwich, right? Who wouldn't like a sandwich, okay? So opening. So let's get clear on the opening, okay? It's this simple, okay? Do people need to know who you are? Yep. Probably should say your name. Do people want to know what you do? Yes. Nope, but you're going to say it anyway. What else do we need in an opening? What are we going to do? Novel, right? Okay, that's it. So your opening is super, super simple. So guys, just like here it comes, right? Okay, my name is, okay, I'm from Detroit. Dun. My name is, dun. Slipper, Slim Shady. Right? Slipper, Slim. Okay, so yo, my name is, okay, and then what am I? I am a rapper. Okay, I'm the dude, right? And then what am I talking about? I don't know until I start talking. Okay, so what do we do? I'll come and do a social media video on whatever, okay? So just get really good at doing a simple opening. Can you guys practice this? Here's the funny thing, guys. I did not realize until I started shooting video that my eyebrows shot all over my head when I talked. When was the last time you stood in front of the mirror and talked to yourself emphatically? Never, right? Like only the weird people, oh yeah, I do that all the time, right? I had no idea. Look, if I take my glasses off and I start talking to you guys, my eyebrows, like, I would lose them into my hair and they'd come wandering back down later in the story. I'm going, where did my freaking eyebrows go? They're like all over my head. And I look at my wife and I'm like, why do my eyebrows shoot all over my head when I talk? And she's like, they always do that. I'm like, what? I had no idea my face did that. So be prepared to be surprised, right? For those of you who do Botox, you already look surprised. So you got to do this stuff, right? So you're just going to open up your stupid camera, right? And you're going to point it at your own pie hole, and you're going to do an opening. And then you just do a couple of them until you find one that works, right? So here's my opening. Hi, my name is Russ, the real estate dude. I'm going to tell you about this stuff. Can it be done horribly? Yes. Okay. I would rather see you do it horrible than not do it at all. Okay? So let's be clear. Are you going to start off a master? No. Okay? I build electric bass guitars. One of my bass guitars was played in the soundtrack of Terminator movies and Spider-Man by a guy named Edgardo Simone, who works for Danny Elfman. If you don't know that, Google that. That guy's cool, right? He used to call me driving up Pacific Highway, eating In-N-Out burgers. I could just picture stuff falling down his face while he's talking to me. I'm like, dude, you chew like an animal. Don't ever call me and chew in my face like when you're talking to me. And he's like, oh, I got to do this and this and that. I'm like, I don't care. Stop. Like, call me back when you're done eating. You're disgusting. And he'd hang up and he'd call me back when he was done eating, and we talk about bass guitar, and he finally got a bass guitar, you know. And he's like, hey, by the way, I played it in the last Terminator movie. I'm like, cool, right? Did I start off a master bass builder? No. I forge knives for fun, okay? Make sharp and pointy things. Fascinating. Changing the molecular structure of a piece of metal. You don't realize if you heat a piece of metal up to a certain point, you can actually smush it into a different shape. It's freaking crazy. Everybody's like, metal's hard. I'm like, not if you heat it up and beat the crap out of it, okay? All right, so with that being said, did I start off a master? No. Do I have some failures? I got a whole wall of broken stuff. And they're like, oh, but stuff broke. Uh-huh. Yeah, learn something, don't do that again, okay? Right, then I started making cleavers. There's the money, right? $300 a pop for a cleaver. Crazy. You show up at my house, it looks like zombie apocalypse, ready to go down. I am prepared, okay? So I can do whatever I want and build whatever recipe I want, but I didn't start a master. You're gonna have some failures, right? I would rather you do it and suck than not do it at all, okay? The only way you're gonna get better at it is by doing it. You're gonna learn your recipe that works best for you, okay? So hi, my name is Russ Laggan. I'm a real estate dude. Today I'm gonna be talking to you about, check this out, man. I went to this restaurant, it's super cool. Boom. 2, 3 things that are cool about the restaurant, and then end. I'm Russ, the real estate dude. See you next time. That's it. Okay? Super short. So what you want to do is start off, if you do nothing else, start off with a video format, about 30 seconds, okay? You can use this on a bunch of different things. Okay? Now, a lot of people say, well, bro, Russ, you know, I got to have this, and I got to have this tool, and that tool, and the other tool, and the other tool, and the other tool, and I can't do this without these tools, right? Oh, yes, you can. Ooh, selfie stick. Check this out, right? Watch this, y'all. Okay? Pop it into a little thing there. This particular brand here is called Lumi Cube, L-U-M-E Cube. This is kind of cool because it's got the little... And I can go, woo, woo, pretty cool, right? And look at that. Chicka wow wow, chicka wow wow. That just got sexy. Okay? So I can do it like that if I want, okay? I will never shoot a video from that angle unless I do this. Do you know why? I will tell you, I don't care how beautiful you are, if you do this on a video. I'll post it on Facebook later. You're like, I didn't know. We used to say more chins then, but I'm not allowed to say that anymore. I had a lot of chins, okay? A whole bunch of chins, okay? So I get my little gizmo set up, okay? So now I got the opportunity to get this thing away from me a little bit. I can get my head up like this, right? La 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 la. Okay? Head up, shoulder back, chin forward. Otherwise you get this. Reminds you of something else, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, so start off like that, okay? Hi, my name is Russ Laggan, okay? So here's a fun one. Do you guys know what the actual, here, let's do a real video, ready? Watch this. We'll do one live, but I want a real number here. Okay. Do you know what the supply of homes is here in the immediate market neighborhood area? What is the supply of homes? Supply of homes is if no other homes come on the market, how long will it take for the homes to go away? What is the absorption rate? You guys call absorption rate over here? Okay, I'm gonna do self-facing camera. You know why? Because I feel pretty. See me? Good. Head forward, out, right? Good. Cool. Watch this, y'all. What do they call this, Brevard County? Yeah. Space Coast? I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. Space Monkey Land. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do video here, ready? Hi, my name is Russ Laggan, Real Estate Dude. I'm doing a video live. I am in Space Coast, Brevard County, otherwise known as the place where the space monkeys hang out. If aliens invade, they're probably gonna come here first because we've been shooting crap at them forever. They're probably gonna wanna shoot back at us. But here's the cool part, Brevard County. These guys in this room, bunch of real estate agents, they don't even know this yet, but Brevard County's at a 0.9 month supply of homes. And by the way, I got the numbers right here. 1,398 sales with 1,316 listings. That means in the last 30 days, there are actually more sales than they actually have inventory, which means it's less than 1 month supply of homes. So if you're thinking about buying Brevard County, by the way, Florida's still hot. So buy a house in Brevard County, watch people launch stuff into space. It's pretty cool. I'm Russ, the Real Estate Dude. I'll see you guys next time. 40 seconds. Okay? Now, here's how tough this is, okay? I'm gonna show you how hard this is. Do I need to do anything else with that video because of the way I did that video? I don't, okay? Okay, so what I can do is I can take that video. If I need to, I can edit the front and back. You'd be like, well, Russ, how do you do this? And if you don't get it end to end and you screw it up, just stop. Start over, it's no big deal. If you mess it up, it's no big deal, okay? So what I can do is I can take that thing and I can edit it real quick, clip the end off of this way and the end off this way if I want to, okay? Or I can just ship it as is. Right? So what are you gonna think I'm gonna recommend? Yeah, who cares at first, right? Like nobody expects you to be perfect. By the way, statistics will show that when you do something that's not perfect, not super over processed, people are much more likely to want to do business with you because you're not fake and full of crap. Okay? Organic stupidity, demonstrate it. Oh, I mean, incompetent, no. Don't be afraid to screw some crap up, right? If you mess it up a little bit, like guys, I'm doing you get like 40 minutes into an hour session and you're shooting a video and I don't know a whole lot about video editing stuff and I'm like, and I study on something, easy for me to say, let's start over, re-say the word again, okay? You'll find little tricks that'll get you going, okay? So here's a fun one. You guys wanna get really crazy with it. All right, this is a tool that, there's some people that are like, you gotta have every tool. I don't. Sometimes you just gotta whack sometimes you just gotta whack people, right? Do you like this? It's a club. Yes. When those people are not cooperating, you just grab this thing and you put a beat down on, no, go on, Detroit style. Okay, so something as simple as this, you got this little button here, and woo! That's all, watch this. And it keeps on going, Come on, you got it, little guy. There you go, little twist. Okay, so you're like, well, Russ, I don't know. My arms aren't very long. That lady in the back's like, my arms are way. Like, that's T-Rex. Okay. Now I can set this thing up just like this, right? And I can fire it up. And here's a fun part. I'm going to show you guys a couple cool video tricks. Ready? Okay. Number one, you point it at yourself because I look good. Oh yeah. All right, video's running, okay? And I'm like, well, that's too high. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna adjust it down a little bit like this, okay? So what I wanna do is I wanna get the video at about eye level or so, plus or minus here, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Here, check this out, okay? So I got the video, so you don't wanna be this like, I'm Russ Laggan, and it's just like, it's business. And you know, here's a ceiling view, right? Don't do that. And you're like, here, okay, there's my, nope, stripper time. Okay, so you just find the right thing and you get your height and you get the right, and you back up so you get just the right amount of, okay, so I'm gonna go down just a little bit more, right? So you just frame yourself in there, boom. Now I'm in the middle of this thing, right? And you can see me, kung fu, hi-ya-ya-ya. Okay, you want to get yourself positioned in this thing, okay? So now it's running, okay? You're like, well, what do I do, Raz? I run. Okay, so here's how I start video. So I start the video, boom, get it running, because then I don't do this. I'm like, record, click. Okay, so I start like this, put my hand up. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Hand down. 1, 2, 3. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, Real Estate Dude. Check it out! I'm in Brevard County with a bunch of people doing a video a different way. And one of the things that you might not know is the average sales price has been going up crazy. Median sales price has been going up crazy. Oh, here's some of my numbers right here. Whew. 2018, the median sales price is 125. 2020, median sales price is 140. 2022, median sales price, boom, 234, big jump, right? 2023, everybody's like, well, market's collapsing, it's crashing. No, not so much. 2023, median sales price, 248. By the way, we're still at a 0.9 month supply of homes here. So with that, you don't have a crash at a 0.9 month supply of homes. House prices are probably gonna still keep going up. I'm Russ Laggan, Realtor. I'll see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I can stop. So you see me start, like I can stop this thing now. Okay, and then if I'm gonna edit this video, it's super easy to edit this video. I turn it sideways, click, right? I can hit the edit button, if I can find it. Hold on, hang on a second here. Edit, boink, there you go. So then I can hit edit, and when I tap this thing on the side, I can adjust this, and then what happens, you see me how I pause at the end, 1, 2, 3, bam, okay? Watch the beginning. I go from the beginning here, slide this over. Okay, I can slide over and go, okay, my hand went up, la 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 la, Russ is being a goofball. Okay, I can adjust this here. Yep, watch this. I go kung fu, hi-ya, oh yeah, he's crazy, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, doink. Okay, watch this. Let's go back. Oh, I messed it up. Here, watch this. I'll go back. I gotta go back again. Okay, hand up, 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I can adjust to that spot. Dink, there you go. Video's edited.
Hi, Russ Laggan, real estate dude. Check it out.
See, I go like this, and when I go down, boom, I can edit right to that point every single time. And then you get to the end of this thing. Zip, okay, watch how the ending goes. Here's how the ending goes.
0.9 months supply of homes. House prices probably still keep going up. I'm Russ Laggan, Realtor. I'll see you guys next time.
As soon as I see my hand go like this, or my hand go like this, clip, done. I can edit the video down in seconds on my iPhone, okay? So if you mess something up, you just gotta have your rhythm, you gotta have your thing. I start the same way every time. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, Real Estate Dude, and talking about, go. Those are real stats, by the way. I'll post those for you guys. You can send them out to people you know. Real numbers from your market. Yeah. Pat, where's Pat? Pat gave me the number. Pat gave me the number, so if they're wrong, blame her, okay? Real, oh. All right, so somebody else gave you the numbers, okay? So guys, is that easy? Okay, now here's another fun little trick. Here, watch this, guys. This is the fun one. You're like, well, Russ, how do I remember all those numbers? Well, you can just write them down, guys. It's not that hard, right? The better thing you can do, and you'll see me do this quite a bit, is when I'm doing video, you'll see me rapping out some numbers, and you're like, how in the world? And I'm not holding anything, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. 140, 178, 224, 240, okay? I'm gonna write those right there, and here's the fun part. When I pop open my video, you guys are like, well, how do you remember all those numbers, Russ? I got facing me. So what I'm doing is I turn my video on, bam, go like this. If I'm standing right here, they're directly behind me. I can read them, I can see them, but you can't tell I'm not looking at you, right? The one thing that I hate about video that most people don't get really well is you don't look at the camera. By the way, the camera's up here, right? You see these people and they're like, it looks like they're looking down. It's like, what are you looking at? There's something to this, you guys. There's something really to this, right? Did you know that science, this is jacked up, there's science that actually proved when you look at somebody in the eyeballs, there's some type of exchange, and they can actually take you and put you in the other room and shine a light in your eyeballs, and it'll make my eyes dilate. So anybody that saw me earlier, if your eyeballs are going, woo, 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 later today it's me with a flashlight going, no, I'm kidding. It was like, there's something to connection, right? They can actually prove it. There's something to connection. And then they took these people and moved them 3 miles away and did the same thing, and they still got a reaction. Because there's an exchange and a connection when you see people, and it works on video too. You get to look in people's eyeballs, right? Okay, so in doing that, I can set up anything behind me. So if I set this here, even being 51 years old, guys, with my glasses off, I can still freaking read that. Okay, I could stand here, I'm in perfect frame, and it's right behind me, and you can't tell I'm reading off of the stupid thing. So I'm gonna do Russ Laggan, I'm the realtor guy, right? Realtor dude, cool. And then I'm gonna bullet point, and you're like, well, how do you remember this stuff? Bullet point, shut up. Okay, so your recipe is really simple. Open, bullet point, 1 or 2, maybe 3, if they're quick, and then you close, you stop. and then you can edit right into that, okay? That's a couple tricks that save you a ton of time. Now, if I mess up, I'm like, I'm Russ the Realtor, and shoot. Hi, I'm Russ the Realtor. Off I go, right? So I mess it up, put your hand up. Now you don't have to reset and read the camera. And when you're starting this out, you guys are gonna fiddle fart around with it because it's gonna make you delay the inevitable. Seeing your turtley goodness live, okay? You're gonna delay the inevitable, but just get past it. Like for me, if you say, hey, Russ, do a real estate market update, I can get the whole thing in, out, boom, in YouTube and shipped on social media in like 20 minutes. Okay, if I've got the info, it's super quick, okay? You'll get to the point where you're like, how do you do 3 or 4 of these a month? Or 3 or 4 of these a week? They only take you like 20 minutes. So should you guys be doing this? Yeah, okay? So here's the fun part, guys. Here's the super fun part. Okay, so when you're talking on video, or you're talking on any type of audio, even when you're talking on the phone, you need to bump up just a little bit, okay? So you wanna practice this. When you practice with your intro. Hit the video and record it. Hi, I'm Russ the Realtor. Go, right? You play it back. What is that? You're like, it sounds crappy. What you have to do is you have to understand there's something lost in that translation with video and audio, and everything kind of gets a little bit diminished, and it doesn't sound right. Okay, so what you gotta do is you gotta bump up just a little bit. So you wanna bump up like 4, 5, 6, 10% maybe max, okay? So if you're normally, like you and I are normally having a conversation, this is how I have a conversation, it's nice talking to you, how you doing? But when I'm on stage, I'm gonna bump it up just that little tiny bit, because then when I bump it up that little tiny bit, it doesn't make you wanna fall asleep, okay? So now there's a level that you go too high, which is used car salesman thing, which is like, hi, my name is Russ Laggan today. And if I did that the whole time, he would have got up and punched me in the face at some point. It's like, dude, just shut the F up, okay? Like, just calm the hell down, right? Anybody seen the movie Cocaine Bear yet? Don't be the cocaine bear, okay? So you want to bump up just a little bit because it comes across more normal, right? It comes across a little bit more engaging. It makes people kind of pull in a little bit. If you just do you normally talking and you're afraid you're going to sound a little too spastic, do a couple test runs, right? Do one, it's like, hi, I'm Russ Laggan. Okay, little bump. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan. Little more bump. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan. Little more bump. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan. How you guys doing? Right? Listen, there's a place for that. This isn't it, okay? Can you go too far? How are you gonna know when too far? Once you've been there, right? You don't know until you've been there. What's too far? I don't know, I've been pushing the limits pretty good here. Mitch, I met him, so I know you guys see him talking around. I'm safe. He's all the way over there, okay? Okay, so with that said, you want to bump up just that little bit, and what'll happen is people will be like, well, that video is really good. That was really engaging. That was really interesting. You start sucking people in with a little bit of energy, okay? One of the things you guys don't know, if you hug me later, I'm super moist. I'm like a bundt cake that just came out of the oven right now. Bundt Cake, yes, that's my name. That's my stage name, is Bundt Cake. You know you got it right, and you know you're doing the right thing when you're pushing out some energy. You feel it, right? So, like, guys, if you don't realize this yet, start studying it. You guys might think I'm a little bit batshit crazy when I tell you this, but everything's energy. If you don't believe that, start looking at it. Science has proven it, okay? They've been talking about it for 4,000 years. There's a dude named Hermes was talking about it back 4,000 years ago in Egypt, saying, hey, Egypt, Hermes, right? Hermetic. So, yeah. Okay, this person hangs out in Egypt a lot, okay? So with that said, and I'm not making that up, 4,000 years ago, this guy's going like, okay, guys, well, one thing that's cool, you gotta know, everything's energy. What? Okay, so science is starting to show all this stuff to be true. Do you guys feel the energy coming from me? Right, do you feel the connection? Right? So when you start putting energy out and you really give a shit about other people and you start putting that energy out and try to help them move the ball forward, man, I get hot. I get really, really, really warm because I'm putting out a ton of energy. I'm not moving that much, but I'm putting out a ton of energy, and I'm giving you a piece of myself, right? And I want you to take it with you. So think of it like this. When you're doing this stuff, you're giving a piece of yourself, right? So when somebody's like, I met a couple people when we were doing this event, and it's like hugging you is different, like, because I'm hugging you, giving you something instead of taking something from you. Have you ever hugged somebody and you feel like a black hole just sucked you dry? Won't go near that guy ever again, right? It's like your battery charger, gone, right? Okay, and there's other people, you just feel energized when you're around them, okay? There's something to that. Something to that. So you can do this and pretend and be this, right? So just bump that little bit up when you're meeting people, when you meet somebody, when you're out and about. You're like, hi, I'm Russ Laggan. It's great to see you. There's something to that. Smile. You look them in the eyeballs, right? The video's the same way. You smile. You look them in the eyeballs. And give them a little bit of your energy, right? And then you're going to find people are more attracted to you. Okay? Good? A couple interesting tips? All right. Cool. All right. Good? Oh, shoot. I'm 5 minutes late. I'm done.